good evening. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Hook the Leg, the first episode of Hook the Leg. And I'm here with Loz and Kye.
Yo.
And there's the music cutting off right there. No fade outs on this podcast. We don't have time. We don't have time for fade outs. But what's Hook the Leg? Well, it's something you should do every time you pin an opponent, but it's also a weekly, dare I say, chat about wrestling with me, Chris Fox, and sometimes we'll have Loz, sometimes we'll have Kye, sometimes we're going to be lucky enough to have both, like today. Good evening, Poodles. Good evening, Woo, Mick, with a tear in my eye, Flair. How's everybody doing out there? Oh yeah, I forgot to turn the fan off. There we go. No more jet engines for you guys. Sorry to all the ones who are enjoying it.
Hey, Pat-Man.
Hello, Pat-Man. What's cracking? Now it seems really quiet in here. Do any podcasts have like background music?
No.
Ever so slightly, maybe.
Sometimes they do. Most of them don't. And by most of them, I only listen to one, and that's last podcast on the left. So.
Kye, can you sing us some soothing background music for us to chat over? You've got the pipes, haven't you? And you've got the tash. Loz, you were just reminding... Yeah, that's brilliant. Keep that up. Loz, you were just reminding Kye that it wasn't Movember.
Yeah. And he had a good response to it, didn't he?
He said something about his bread being buttered on the lady side of the bread.
Oh, you gave away the punchline now.
Well, I've condensed the conversation. Now we can move on. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Sonny? Lord Sonny. He's a lord. Can I just stress this? That Sonny is a lord. He bought land. He is a lord. What's up, Sea Dog? What's up, Crashing Boars? We're going to talk about wrestling today. Thank you all who tuned in yesterday, by the way, for the drum stream. There they are. All right.
Sea Dog. What's up, Crashing Boars? Great name.
So before we jump into this all-out review, how are you guys doing in general? Have you got any life anecdotes you want to share with the people out there?
No.
Kye's just...
I'm good though.
I just hope everyone's seen All Out. That's all.
Yeah, we will be talking about spoilers and all of that lovely all elite, all out kind of stuff. I think what I might do is a bit of that. Bit of that. This is professional. This is basically the pilot, so you're allowed to do all this stuff on air.
Yeah.
The first
trial and
time,
error.
but yeah, is that a bit better? You can see my expressive hand movements now. I tell you what, when you go on camera to talk to camera, all of a sudden you're super aware of your hands, and you're like, "Can I just put them in my pockets like Orange Cassidy?" And they're like, "No, because you're not Orange Cassidy." It's pretty outrageous. But yeah, obviously, what Kye means is he's got a load of anecdotes, but they're too hot for Twitch, and he can't share them with us tonight.
Way too sexy for any kind of Twitch channel. Get that on my Patreon, which
Exactly, behind a paywall, of course, like the video I just made for Loz and Kye, and that's not actually a joke. Loz is knackered, though, obviously, because he's been up to all sorts of adventures as well. Loz, please share.
No, I've just not slept since All Out. So that's the
you
kayfabe reason.
I bet you haven't. You animal. Absolute animal. The conductor is here, everyone. All aboard. We've got a new gimmick for Steve. He's the master of gimmicks.
he is the master of gimmicks.
Dry bones. He's been dry bones, but now everybody have your tickets out for the conductor. All aboard. Loz, we had a good gimmick name for you last time as well, didn't we? Mr. Royal Rumble, because you got eliminated in 3 seconds by X-Pac.
Who did I use? I can't remember now.
The clip is on my channel, but it was when Mr. Royal Rumble was birthed. And obviously Kye has experience on top of the Hell in the Cell, because he fell off one time.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
I see the conductor icon, Steve, and you've earned it because you are the conductor. Tickets, please. Did you see the conductor get that win in 6 minutes 38 with tickets, please? Ooh. Outstanding work it was.
Top work.
I really hate having the fan off. I wish fans were silent. Why aren't they silent? Something for Leonardo da Vinci to work out for us. Get him on
You
it.
can't hear mine, can you?
No, how have you got a silent one?
One of those fancy Dyson ones.
Like I said though, I'll get all heated and angry though, so it'll make for better content. Yeah, it's well, I mean, what a ticket inspector, Pat Man, I would call them, but that's why Steve's gimmick name of the conductor is perfect. Loz, sorry, Kai, who are you waving to?
The people of the world that are saying hi.
Everybody wave back to Kai. This is, I mean, I know I've been off Twitch for a while, but is this every now and then you got to be like, hello?
Well, acknowledge people for saying hi. Yeah.
Everybody,
Let me do that at the end.
I now give you permission to acknowledge Kai Connolly.
Thank you. Oh, that's what I need.
Acknowledge him.
Thank you.
Oh, is that fan nice for you, Poobles? Is it working out well? Is it? I'm happy for you. I was a bit of a latecomer to the genius of Dave Bautista, but yeah, that Queen wave, 5 stars. Well, so I've got extensive all-out notes. Is there anything you guys want to say about the show in general before we go through it match to match? How did you feel? What has it done for your lives? It's kept Loz awake. He's not been able to sleep a wink since All Out.
It's for me. It's really like I've been getting back into wrestling for the last like 4 years now. Like, because after Invasion, like WWE, WWF, WCW Invasion, just killed my love for wrestling, and it was only 4 years ago I started to get back into it with stuff like the Cruiserweight Classic, just certain guys in the Indies, New Japan, just certain wrestlers, and well, yeah, NXT as well with Samoa Joe and shit like that. Like, because my friends, like, because I don't think that was going on live then, but my friends were like, "Hey, check all this out. This has been good."
So you ready for the new NXT coming soon? Paint splashes.
No, it makes me so.
Do we have time to talk about that?
You know what I'm saying? That makes me so. But like AEW, like I was watching it with my friend Nasser. We're watching it live, and I felt like a kid. No, like the amount of times I fucking lost my shit during that show, not just because of the new people joining, just the matches, like, and as well, and like some of the results. Loved them.
Kid in a candy store. I mean, yeah, it was. People are saying best pay-per-view of all time. I think it's a little early to say that, but it was certainly an exciting show, non-stop from start to finish, and it feels like a really important show, as if it would be like, like Loz, we've watched every All Out, or I mean every AEW pay-per-view. But for me, if I try and go back now and pull out matches from individual ones, like they all kind of blend together in a good way, like Takeover started to do. But this All Out, people are going to remember as like a key moment, it was historic. And Loz, you loved what you saw, and you've been just awake staring at. You turned your TV off after All Out, and you've just been staring at the screen since then, not moving.
Do you know what I've been doing? I've been looking at just all of the new debuts and just checking those entrances out over and over again. It's what I tend to do when AEW gets someone new.
Yeah.
Buzzing. It's good. It's really good. What's happening at the moment?
I mean, like, wrestling hasn't been bad consistent since like 2001, but especially in WWE, the higher spots have honestly been few and far between, and it's such an exciting time for wrestling now, and there's a company which is finally an alternative to WWE. It's everything that TNA should have been, and you can see it when wrestlers like Ruby Riott come out and they've got the look all over their face like, I've finally been released from that prisoner of war camp where, I was, they fed me, and, we had some exercise time, and we did our matches and rematches ad infinitum, but you can see it in their face. They're so happy to be there, and Punk and Bryan and everyone, and it makes me emotional watching them come out because they're so happy and I'm so happy for them. So absolutely. Yeah, what is going on with summertime happening today, Pat Man? Are you talking about the summer in general? Yeah, it's really hot today, and I don't know why it'd be hot.
When we turned the fan off.
It's because we're doing a podcast, obviously. But yeah, exactly. The turning of the tide or whatever. I mean, like, it looks like AEW, they will be beating Raw in ratings it's like, sometime soon.
It's like me, like just going through like the WWE definitely has the better women's division. Like across all three brands, it still has altogether a better division, but the men's division. And
Tell
the
me
tag-
about it, dude.
The tag division, fucking hell, the tag division in AEW.
Kai. Yeah, tell me about it. The women's division. We had Nia versus Charlotte.
Oh, you cut off for a second, dude.
I've got to turn those off. Yeah, we've got we had Nia versus Charlotte 2 last night. Yeah. So I've got to agree with you there. What a women's division!
No, when you look at the roster, it's like WWE's problem isn't the people, it's the booking, and we know this. It's the booking because Nia Jax could, all right, maybe not Nia Jax because she fucks up a lot, but there's a world where someone can book Nia Jax properly. Charlotte should be fucking great to watch all the time, and they still got Sasha, they still got Bayley, they still got Io Shirai, still got Asuka, Bianca Belair, so Rhea Ripley as well. So I would still argue that the women's division is more stacked with top stars, whereas AEW are now starting to build. Ruby Soho is a great fucking start in terms of Well,
let's cover that when we get there and start going from match to match and crack on with this. Just before we do, what's everyone been saying in the chat? NXT looks like they're going hard after the youth demographic. Well, that's what Vince wants. He wants a show for kids, and that's what he's always been about. Apart from when he needed the Attitude Era for ratings. But we couldn't have the real Mick Flair Woo on this podcast, but he will be joining us on future episodes, so don't worry about that. We've got stuff like a logo coming as well. It's gonna get amazing, so don't worry about that. The quality of this show will increase, and everyone here on the ground floor on day one, we're gonna remember you. The Poobles
Oh, you're gonna have a good time.
Nia fucks up lacing her own boots.
The Poobles is the Craggle Rocks. How do I turn that fucking thing off? Apart from just asking Remy to stop it.
How are you doing it? Depends how you have it.
They're not coming up, by the way, if that's what you're wondering.
We can't hear it, but it does cut his mic off when it happens.
Okay. Right.
No, Remy, it's not your fault. Remy's been here since the early days of the channel. Remy's been here since the reboot.
They're good commands. They're there to be used. Yeah. Usually.
But if there's a way you could pause them.
It should be off now. So yeah.
Praggles made a good point about, other people now running down their contracts. But then that gives, that spawns another question, which is how many more can they really take on until it gets too many?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as too many when it comes to AEW, because they're very good at rotating stars on their 4 different shows now, and what a lot of fans are kind of hoping for a better wrestling schedule now, so that wrestlers can take time off and there's not the insane WWE travel and house show schedule that completely wears their bodies down to the ground. So yeah, the thing with WWE is, and like I said to you in the WhatsApp group, no one wants Raw to be shit. You want it to be good, but you watch it and it's boring, and as a long-term viewer, stories get dropped, nothing makes sense, rematches happen forever, and who cares, right? And basically, who cares? And the thing I noticed about WWE over the last 5 years, they have made me not care about. I never wanted to see Dean Ambrose again. I was sick of the sight of him. And then that year when he debuted in AEW and did the G1, he became my favorite wrestler of the year. But there's Ricochet. I don't care about him.
Oh God, it makes me sad to see Ricochet in WWE now.
All of my favorites I don't care about, and I want them to leave, and I want them to go to somewhere that makes them happy. And thank God for the Tony Khan billions of dollars that can offer these people the paychecks that give you the incentive to jump, rather than I've got a family and I need the WWE money to feed and clothe them. And now, I imagine Punk's getting paid quite well. Yeah. Like I said, it's incredible. Remy wants Bobby Brock. You're gonna get it. Don't worry, because last night Bobby technically also defeated all of the tag teams last night on Raw as well. But
of course, because the tag division ain't shit. This pits.
I didn't see that. I don't really want to know.
Pittance.
Yeah. And I've got to say, like, no offense to the lad, but I don't want to see Braun Strowman pop up in AEW. He could just go away. Impact, sure, but go away, because every time I'd be like, oh, I haven't watched WWE in ages, let me tune back in again. I'd see Braun Strowman and I'd see Baron Corbin, and I just would nope the fuck right out of there, because I'm not interested. And you flip over to AEW, and conversely, it's always so exciting. There's some duller dynamites for sure, but it's such an exciting show because Tony Khan wants to reward the fans for watching, and Vince wants to punish you for watching.
Like, look what you said about Braun Strowman right there. I remember there was a point where I liked Braun Strowman. I think it was when he was feuding with Roman Reigns, and that was done pretty well. But then they overbooked him as an invincible monster and then dropped him completely. But like in AEW, how many guys do you not like to see? Because they've done such a good job, like with even with the
everybody.
Card,
I want to, exactly. I want to see everybody.
Everyone feels like they're in the right place. They even made QT Marshall a heel that I wanted to see get battered. That's something impressive for me, because I'm like, I didn't give a fuck about that guy. And even though it was obviously a rest match, I was still into the idea of watching him get fucked up by Big Show.
Yo, what's up, Ray? And yes, Pat-Man, that's exactly right. You like, I remember my head actually hurt when Ziggler gave up the United States title and walked off the show and came back a month later and no one said anything about it. And that is example one of a million times that stuff gets dropped in WWE. And you watch it for a long time and you're like, my time is not being respected here. Vince wants you to watch 5 hours of wrestling a week when there isn't a pay-per-view. And it's like, he's been consequence-free for the last 20 years. He's done so much damage to wrestling. So much. He's driven off so many fans, it's not even funny. And now he's literally saying out loud, essentially, it doesn't matter anymore. We've got these guaranteed television contracts. We've got the Peacock money. We've got the Saudi blood money. And, there's no need. Like, none of the news, none of the real impact of All Out will be felt by him at first because of the bubble that he's in. And he knows something big has happened, like with Punk. So it's like, oh, let's get Brock and Becky back out there immediately. But for him firing all the slightly smaller indie guys from NXT is what he hilariously thinks the problem is. But it's the fact that he can't book anymore. The term in WWE is WrestleMania moment. Well, Vince is great at booking moments, but that's it. His moments are like, oh, we'll break up that tag team. We'll have that returning person turn heel. Great moments, Vince. But there's nothing long term, and therefore fans won't watch long term. And like, I stopped watching weekly a while ago because I had to. Am I right?
I think the moments are wearing thin, by the way, as well now.
like I think the last thing I got into in WWE, and even then I haven't been able to watch regularly, is Roman's heel turn. There was lots of good shit in there.
Roman's fantastic.
But it's just one guy. As I say, they still got some fucking great people there. And luckily someone like Roman has the power to sort of maybe he was helping that story and doing the writing himself, and they just let him, at least with his character, take charge of what was happening there. But the writing, which is like the fact they have writers teams, just shows how bullshit their process is.
AEW have 0 writers as well, so think about that. But exactly, Pat-Man, he forgot the moments require build. Precisely. I remember when WWE packages before matches, like say Rock and Foley from Royal Rumble '99, the pre-match promos were so good because it showed the build in such an exciting way. They would often be more exciting than the matches themselves, and you don't have that anymore. So I mean, WWE have the amazing production in terms of putting together those video packages, but the content, who cares, right?
Yeah.
All Out. Did you guys watch the buy-in?
Yeah.
Yep. We start with that then.
Well, I mean, we were slightly late today, guys, by the way, because I had to go back and rewatch some matches because I was having major connection issues on the night of the show through the official Fight TV app, by the way. And I heard people trying to watch streams had a nightmare. But
I actually had it easy. Just saying.
What, were you watching it through your neighbour's window again?
Yeah. But if you sat, basically, I've got a mirror at the end of my garden, and you angle it right, and if the curtain's just drawn enough, I can see a quarter of the screen. It's perfect.
Of course. Classic Kai. Well, so yeah, the only match on the buy-in was the HFO versus Jurassic 5. Do you see what I did there?
Hey, I did see.
I like it.
It's clever.
Rap music. Yeah. But yeah, Pooble's mind stopped with a message telling me recording was detected. It wasn't recording anything. Yeah, I was trying to stream from my phone to my TV. It was having none of it. Talk, internet went down. It was a shit show. But I still managed to watch the most important bits. But yeah, like Hardy once in the ring with Orange for revenge after Orange squished his nose the other day. Did you see that?
Yes, fuck. Yeah, so I've seen I saw Rampage and Dynamite this week, which I usually don't, but now I think I'm gonna fucking have to. I usually watch like certain highlights or check certain matches and keep up to date with the story, but haven't been watching the shows religiously. But now after this, I am watching everything. Like,
I was gagging for Rampage to debut, and it's so awesome. We had that taped one, which felt like a less of an exciting one, but with the Punk debut. The start of the series with Kenny and Christian, it's just what a time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, it really is.
Yeah,
Ray, did you? The problem with the Lucha Brothers, Ray, is they always try to walk it in. But yeah, Orange juiced him, and his nose, Matt Hardy's nose, exploded. So after the match, where Jungle Boy basically showed. Once again, how over he is. The fans love everything that Jungle Boy's doing, and he's incredible. I'm a big 80s music fan, but I was always like take it or leave it with Tarzan Boy. But now, obviously, it's a wrestling anthem, so finally it's clicked with me. Yeah. But all he needs to do now is tap into his father's acting skills, because I want to see a killer promo from Jungle Boy.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, he needs to look right down that lens and say, Kenny Omega. I'm coming for you!
Excellent!
But like Jungle Boy, he's like the opposite of MJF in terms of they're both really young, but like MJF is like the promo master, needs to get better at the in-ring, and he's going to.
Exactly.
And Jungle Boy is amazing in-ring, needs to get better on the mic, and it will happen. I'm confident it's going to happen. He's still got lots of time.
Paul, thank you so much for that sub. I really appreciate it, dude. How are you doing? I'm back on Twitch, and this is a wrestling podcast with my guys right here. Yeah, I tell you what, Ray, like I said, I mean, I said in your chat last night that there was an amazing wrestling show on, and to quote Daniel Bryan, and this is from the Media Scrum, I've got notes on the Media Scrum as well, but Daniel Bryan says this. He says he believes that if you show excellent wrestling to anyone, that they will enjoy it. And I agree. And then he finished it up with, because excellent wrestling is fucking awesome. Put that on my tombstone.
It fucking is.
And put me in the ground, I guess, because I'll be dead. Yeah, sorry, that took a turn.
So one of the problems with wrestling is that like it's so easy for it to look shit or be shit, but when it's good,
speak for yourself.
I've been watching a lot of WWE, man. Fucking hell, it's been pissing me off.
That was a mistake. I was like, bitch, that was a mistake.
But when wrestling's great, like when wrestling, which it has been recently, it just reminds me.
Kai, we're doing a podcast here. Like, what?
It's just ripping out the pretzels.
I know, like, it's like turn your fan off, Chris, and be uncomfortable for an hour.
I thought I could style it out.
Well, with the rustling of the.
I should have done that. I should have muted my mic and done it when someone else was talking.
Well, look, Steve's Crashing Balls has got his new governor gimmick. Governor? Why not? He's got his new.
That's Anthony Ogogo, isn't it?
Gibbo, thank you for that sub. It's so nice to see all you guys.
Gibbo.
Missed you too, Gibbo. Thank you for that sub, everybody. But yeah, I mean, Kai, is your gimmick? Kai eats pretzels on air.
They're just rustling. I'm not even going to eat the pretzels. I'm just going to play with the bag.
Russell Connolly.
Kai the Russell Connolly.
Yeah, Crashing Balls is, I remember when Daniel Bryan said yes, yes, yes. That was great. But yeah.
So do you have notes on the match, Chris? Because I've got a few little bits.
Yeah, I do. We've got Luchasaurus does this choke slam into like a go to sleep kind of thing. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty. Yeah. The 7-way submission spot. It reminded me of.
Where he plowed through.
Took me right back to the days of NHBW where we did a 4-way sleeper hold in a match back in my old backyard fed. But yeah, and then boo Luchasaurus for breaking it up rather than becoming the 8th guy to slap on a headlock. I was like, and it was a 10-man tag. So what you want all 10 men to be in a submission hold, and then who was the referee in that NHBW match? I'll tell you who. Conductor Crashing Boars Edwards, and he's the ref. He's the ref, right? And he gets in and he's looking at the scene, and he's looking at the 4-way headlock, and he's like, I can't believe this. And then he slaps on the headlock himself. Like, oh my god, the ref's getting in. So Bryce Remsburg or whoever it was should have been sleeper hold number 11. But yeah. But like I said, then I forgave him because Luchasaurus comes back with that choke slam into the go to sleep. Isaiah Cassidy still doing those screams.
It's okay now. Now they're heel. It's okay.
I don't know, man. You'd think there would be a little bit of a laugh from the audience afterwards, but then there never is.
No. It gets like I'm sensing a little bit of the old X-Pac.
Make some noise. But like Orange doing his spots with his hands in his pockets is just always phenomenal to watch. Yeah. And he does a Hurricane Runner on 2 guys, and the dude is just incredible. Then we've got the chicken spot on each other's shoulders. Go on, Loz.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was going to lead into that. Yeah, the Spanish fly off the top of his shoulders.
It was more of a backflip power slam, wasn't it?
Oh, actually, no, that's true. Yeah,
because, but yeah, I've written here, Jungle Boy works a 5-star match on top of Luchasaurus' shoulders because he's just blocking shit. He's punching dudes, and then he it's like a fall away slam with a backflip. It's got a name.
Looked great,
but you're not going to hear it from us today.
Excalibur probably knows it.
Excalibur. Now I've got to say,
he knows them all, doesn't he?
I've got to say it. And now my friend cynical BA Brad Armageddon. I will get him on this podcast one day, and that is a guarantee. But he's been slagging off Excalibur recently, and I've got to say, of all the years of commentators we've had, he's got to be the least annoying. And that's high praise because I get annoyed by them quite easily. I like Mauro Ranallo, but like I said, the way he crowbars in some of his pop culture references. But I think Excalibur is brilliant. He'll do an off-the-cuff Garth Marenghi reference. And it's brilliant. And he knows all the moves, and his delivery is brilliant, especially when it's like, more bang for your buck. And I'm like, yes, Excalibur. And I think I think people are being too harsh on JR. People need to calm down. I've calmed down. Yeah, he makes your mistake. It doesn't matter if he makes a mistake. He seemed to refuse to be able to call Paul White. He called him Big Show about 8 times, but it's fine. Who cares? And no one's going to sue. No one's going to sue AEW because Jim Ross said the Big Show, and I think Jim Ross still brings like a bit of gravitas to the commentary team. I really do. And Tony Schiavone is the best he's ever been, and I love him.
Jim Ross is still the best in the world at selling a story in terms of emotional stakes and making it feel real. Like when he talks about oh my, just any time when it's either just like hyper realistic violence or just like a big emotional connection to the match, he's still the best at selling that reality, and I fucking love it. And
in theory, people are going to tune into ITV, even though they show it at 10 p.m. on ITV4. On a Friday, but people will tune in and they'll hear JR and they'll be like, "Oh my god, it's Jim Ross!" And when I used to watch wrestling when it was hot in 2001, but the chicken spot was like awesome. Marco dives off Luchasaurus as well from the outside, from the inside to the outside on Blade, and the height was just amazing. And Jungle Boy gets the win with the old snare trap. Loz, anything else you wanted to bring up that I missed?
Butcher was back when he looked slimmer, I thought.
Yeah, Butcher returns out
in good shape.
Butcher returns out of nowhere to beat up Orange, and they did. But Butcher has he been injured or has he been doing his guitar thing?
I don't know actually. I thought he was injured, but maybe that was just.
I heard that he injured his hand, and because of wrestling and being a guitarist, he really fucking needs his hand. He was like, I'm doing nothing until this is completely healed.
Kai, can you get your face? Can we see that moustache up close? Can you give the people a bit of a?
Let me just
Look at that. You look like a musketeer.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just,
Like,
yeah. I like with this old thing. Thank you.
Because when it's all for one and one for love, right? What was that song? I mean, I can't believe I don't remember it when you've got Rod Stewart, Sting, and Bryan Adams.
Oh my god! Oh, I might. All right, while you two are talking, at one point, I might listen to that song just to.
That was like not one of my childhood films that I know off by heart. I do remember flicking over the channels like 10 years ago though, and someone says to Charlie Sheen's Musketeer, "But what about the future?" And Charlie Sheen goes, "Face it, kid, the future's a lie." And he rides off on his horse. And I turned over the channel. I was like, "That's brilliant. That's all you need." They need a wrestler with a candlestick maker gimmick since they have a butcher and a baker. Genius! Why wasn't Ali brought in as the candlestick maker? Pat, man, you're a genius. You're a goddamn genius. Oh my god!
I thought it was a barber.
The Three Musketeers.
The blade.
The butcher.
The blade.
The blade. And the
barber.
And the candlestick maker. Yeah. What's up, Manny?
Hey, Manny.
Actually, to be fair, Manny, I asked Kai to give us a close-up of the old facial hair, but we were also praising his musketeer look. And who have we got? Raging Silver, baby! Welcome to the chat. We're talking about wrestling, Rich. It's a pleasure to see you. How are you doing? Oh, everybody's here. This is great. Anything else you want to talk about, Kai, before we move on to the main show?
Oh, let's go to the main show, guys. Main show time, because that's where the big shit is.
Eddie versus Miro. Redeem D's nuts. Kai, you gonna buy that shirt?
Yes. Because I love Eddie Kingston, and I've liked him before AEW.
Ooh.
Do you remember the NWA Power Show that was going on like a year and a half ago, a couple of years ago?
Yes.
I remember it started. And
they've just done Empower, haven't they? They just did the show with a woman. They wanted a woman pay-per-view. And they just did it Empower. But yeah, anyway, go on.
I need to check that. But they so that's the first time I noticed him. And then there was like an indie show I went to. I think it was Attack Pro Wrestling. And he showed up as a surprise, like, open challenge entrant, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" Then I saw him at Rev Pro, so like I've been a big Eddie Kingston fan for a while, so I'm just really fucking happy to see him.
So don't forget, everybody, Kai was a fan of Eddie Kingston before any of you were.
Yeah,
he invented him.
If anything, it's I don't think it's a coincidence that once
it's not a coincidence.
He's been really good. He started to get much more opportunities,
And then he said, didn't he, Kai? You did the biggest hug after his debut, and he looked into your eye and he said, "Kai, you will always be my D'Artagnan." and then I saw a great. Kurt Angle tweeted earlier on about Kurt Angle. He kissed Undertaker after a match on some house show. He goes, "Undertaker, I love you, man." Gives Undertaker a hug and then forces a kiss on him. And Undertaker's face was priceless. It's brilliant. Check out Kurt Angle's Twitter page. But Eddie Miro. These two are such a great matchup. Both brutes, beasts of equal size. One, I think it was Excalibur. Miro is so intimidating, but Eddie refuses to be intimidated. And they're just a great. The crowd are so behind Eddie. They love him, and everyone's having a great time booing Miro's Redeemer character, which has been great.
The Redeemer is fucking brilliant. Like, I don't want him to drop the belt anytime soon. It's so good. Yeah. That's the thing is, I love Eddie Kingston, but I was still happy with the result.
Yeah. No, I agree. I want titles to be on people for as long as possible to make them more prestigious. And I've written here in the notes that it was like the first proper Miro title defense I've seen, because I don't watch Dark or Elevation, so I've only seen him take on people who, like Fuego del Sol, who that he's going to smash. So it was a really cool to see a competitive match, and when you get in that DDT on Miro, and the crowd think it might be over, and the crowd were just eating everything up, and it was a great choice for the opening match actually, because a lot of people I think were maybe assuming if Punk and Darby didn't close, it would open the show. But I just thought it was a great idea. Yeah.
Well, they made Kingston look really strong. My notes are a bit vague, but I wrote he got shafted twice by the ref. I can't remember why.
Loz, you sound like a footballer post match. Oh yeah, well you got shafted twice by the ref, and at the end of the day,
that's where I got it from. Yeah.
It was a match of two halves, and
but
it made him look good. Yeah, because he was robbed twice. But yeah, my other notes: great Saito suplexes from Kingston as well.
Yeah, Kingston as well talking before the match in the on Dynamite, I think it was, about he knows Miro's weaknesses and he's going for the neck, and all of his moves go for the neck, and I just think it's brilliant. Eddie on the mic is money, and I'm glad he's finally wearing the trousers in the ring. His ring gear looks the best it's ever done. I still think trousers and like a basketball jersey, something loose fitting, would just because I don't give a shit if wrestlers don't have a good body, but if their gear makes them look a bit weak, then and plus him in like a basketball jersey, who wouldn't want to see that? I think he'd look fucking dope.
It works perfectly.
Yeah,
I've got another little stat here.
Go on.
Sorry.
Please.
First person to wrestle for all male championships, and he's lost them on every occasion, obviously.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Well, when he finally gets that win, I think the crowd are going to go mental. Maybe, and I think the story coming out of this match with the fact that Eddie gets out of Game Over and doesn't submit, you've got that going forward to I never tapped out of your move, bro. And calling his god fake, and Miro's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you.
I'd be happy if they continued this feud, but this is another problem with AEW, is like, as we'll get to at the end of the show, there's a lot of people in there, and it'd be like some gold needs, they need to bring in like a trios belt or something, because there needs to be more. There's too many great people that will not have any kind of gold for a while.
Well, forget the 24/7. What about the 25/8 belt? And conversely, talking about the difference between AEW and Raw right now, I saw Akira Tozawa on like a Dragon Gate show one time in person, and he was amazing. And he's just getting squashed in a minute by Reginald.
Yeah.
For the 24/7 belt. Oh, Vince, never change, or maybe do. But yeah, Patman. Bryce Remsburg, poor guy. He was just trying to fix the ring, but maybe don't try and fix the ring when you're supposed to be counting pins. All right? The match was just so stiff. I mean, did you see Miro's chest afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his blood. Yeah.
Well, at least he's got like a flexible hot wife to rub him down with ice or whatever. All that stuff that Miro's talking about. He's crazy, isn't he?
I fucking love it though. Like, his promos I fucking live for right now. They're so good.
And Miro did a drop kick that not Okada but Bob Holly would have been really proud of.
Yes.
He came flying. He's like super high on that. It was just incredible. But yeah, just basically working on the net. Great back fist into DDT. Like I said, the crowd go mad when they think it might possibly be the end. And couldn't pile drive Miro. But that could, teasing the fact that a pile driver might have finished off Miro's neck. It was really cool. Because like Kai said, this Redeemer character is great. It's finally good to see him in a really cool feud. Where you're like, ooh, maybe this guy's going to get the better of him and take that title.
Yeah.
Okay, 47 minutes in. That's match 1 done.
Oh, God. Moving swiftly on.
We're finding our feet, everybody. Poogle says one night Vince will be visited by 3 ghosts. The ghosts of wrestling past, present and future. Exactly. It's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I did everything right. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Just a tweet.
Who would those three ghosts be if there was a
Ric Flair would be the past.
He's still alive, Kai.
Yeah.
Pat Patterson should be all of them. What are you doing, Vince?
It should be like the friend that warns him that the ghosts.
Kai, what are you eating now? Are you eating?
I'm getting too deep in it.
Are you eating gum and nuts together at last?
Yeah, together at last. No, actually, I'm getting a beer to join this gum and nuts. Give me 1 second. But anyway, yeah.
Did you just say I'm getting? Did you say? Okay, off you go.
I'm just gonna grab another beer quickly. But
It's fine.
Next match, because I got so much to say about the end of the next match.
Okay, yeah, well, we'll talk about the match itself.
Oh my god, yeah.
But yeah, because I'm not going to lie, Loz. I'm pretty unfamiliar with Kojima. And I've seen a couple of matches over the years, but like that's it. So when he was announced as Mox's opponent, I was one of those people who went.
So I was the same, but I think when you think about what they're doing, if they can just slowly build, like, you know, they started with what? Nagata came over, and then I think it was Nagata. We saw a glimpse of Kenta. Saw a bit of Rocky Romero. I know he's not Japanese, but not that matters, from NJPW. And then, then Kojima. I think if they drip feed, you know, a bit more popular each time, then, you know, we're going to get that eventual coin drop.
Exactly.
And, it's all going to kick off. But yeah, so yeah, I thought the same. But I've not seen many of his matches, but he looked really good here, I thought.
Yeah, and he's like, what, 30 years G1 champion in the past. But yeah, I mean, like, a guy with a lot of prestige. And how about them Metal Gear Solid games, eh? They're pretty good. But yeah, speaking of G1 before Kai just comes back, have you seen the lineup of the brackets for the G1 loss?
Yeah, I've seen. Well, I've not seen I've seen the people that have been added. Yeah, I haven't seen the matchups or anything. But
yeah, at first I was like, but then when you really look at it, there are some like incredible like you know, like
there always is, isn't there? That's I don't know. I've gone off New Japan a little bit.
They've been really struggling in terms of like
the
pandemic's been fucking them hard, and not a lot of people are watching at the moment. But that's why at the moment it's so exciting with all of these companies working together. Yeah. That hopefully more New Japan people come in AEW like we saw in this match and after this match. That will, you know, because it literally is good for everybody. That rising tide sinks all ships analogy is spot on. But yeah, basically stiff match, brain busters, German suplexes. Ooh, Kojima gets out of the bulldog choke, paradigm shift followed by a death rider. Are they the same thing? It's tough to tell. He's got like so many different variations of the move, and it's got two names. Yeah. So what do you want from him?
Isn't one the name for when he's in New Japan?
Death Rider. Yeah, he is the Death Rider, and the Death Rider is the name of the move in Japan. But also, like I said, he's got a stiff, like, actual DDT version of it. He's got, like, an elevated DDT version of it. And now it's starting to look basically like a double underhook suplex. But, you know, whatever. Good.
If I have one minor complaint about some of Moxley's Kane-style selling of DDTs and cutters during that match, I don't know if you noticed that.
But he's going to be... Hey, look.
Pretty bad,
if
some
you're
of it.
Coming down on the knee, you're going to be wrestling into your 60s. So let him do it. And then he's like,
I mean, there is that. Yeah,
and so he does that, and then he goes, right, now I'm going to lift you up and drop you upside down on your head, and you better not put your knee down.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't want my move to be looking shit now.
Mine are gripe, but yeah.
But I know about Kojima's bread gimmick though, Patman, and him getting loads of bread. Good for him.
It's so good.
That's better character development than anything on WWE right now.
I can relate to that more than most things.
I could go for some bread right now. But yeah, Raging Silver's alluded to it. Who came out after the match?
Yes.
I've written in capitals here, Kaze Ninare, Loz. And we saw him at that London show, didn't we? And that was awesome.
He main evented, didn't he?
To see that entrance live.
But, were you at Grand Kingdom as well?
Whatever it was called.
The
Royal Quest, wasn't it?
Royal Quest, that's it.
Grand Kingdom, Kai, that was the show you put on in that in that warehouse.
didn't have quite the same draw, but it did have a very similar ending.
Yeah, and also for some reason Minoru Suzuki was also there. But Suzuki comes out, flames carved into the side of his head. Kaze ni nare, everyone's singing on to every word, and then it's.
I didn't expect that, you know.
Oh god, yeah. No, I wasn't ready for that.
Guy's still recovering from it right now.
I am honestly like he's
So good.
literally my favorite wrestler in the world right now.
Favorite wrestler in the whole wide world. You should write him a letter.
You know what? I kind of want to. I do love him.
Dear
Like,
Minoru, you're my favorite wrestler in the whole world. Love Kai.
he's so fucking cool.
Okay.
And like, yeah, I saw him at the Royal Quest, but like, but also he was at a Rev Pro show, the same one that
Did the one with Ishii main event, didn't he?
No, the one I saw that he might have done another one at Rev Pro. The one I saw was the one where it was Pac and OGMO doing the main event.
It must have been
And,
pretty good.
It was fucking amazing.
Speaking of Pac, travel problems allegedly. So that sucks because Andrade needs that big match, and I think that match would have been cool.
Imagine how.
Yeah.
Like how look how great this pay per view was.
Yeah.
If that match was in this, then it would be unquestionable that this would have been the greatest pay per view of all time because you know that match is going to be fucking amazing.
I absolutely agree. Like it's a stacked card, so much so that when you lose a great match like that, it's not the end of the world because you've still got so much else to fall back on. But yeah, Suzuki squares up to Mox, forearm, and so on. Blood from Mox's forearm on Minoru's chest looks sick. They beat the shit out of each other and laugh. Rear naked choke on Mox, Gotch pile driver, and then he puts his foot on Mox and raises his hand, and that's great fucking television, everybody.
So he's not in the G1, is he? So I wonder if he's going to be around for a while.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be like joining All Elite, but maybe this will be a feud rather than a match.
I think it'll be a feud, at least, at the very least. You'd hope.
Which is great because, like you said, they've been hiring a lot of people and some guest people coming in and out. I just think is like brilliant. And obviously, Mox the night before won the GCW title.
Yep.
Which was brilliant because when Matt Cardona debuted, he debuted as a druid doing the Mox walk and landing a Death Rider, and then Mox came out as a druid doing the Mox walk and landing a Death Rider, and it was like in one of those little airplane hangar type indie arenas, and it was really cool. Suzuki Orange Cassidy match.
Can you imagine?
Is what Pat-Man wants to see. I mean, I want to see it all.
Can I talk about what I saw Suzuki do?
Apparently, he smokes like 50 cigarettes before, and then goes out there and does a match.
He's the coolest. It's one of the coolest motherfuckers I've ever seen. But there's a guy in the UK indie scene right now called Mad Kurt. Are either of you aware of who Mad Kurt is?
Tell us about Mad Kurt, Kai.
He has the best fucking gimmick. So the dude is like, he's in way better shape than I'm ever gonna be. But in terms of like wrestler builds, he's very skinny and he's not a big man at all.
Right.
And he's like maybe like 5'11", maybe he's 6 foot, maybe he's a little bit taller. But anyway, he looks like not a strong guy. And his whole gimmick in the indie scene is that whenever there's an open challenge, he will always step up to like people that are notoriously fucking hard. You know, the people that would like, no one wants to challenge them, let alone you, like what you think. And then he steps to them with like the confidence of fucking Scrappy Doo. And it's like the whole gimmick is that he'll come out and dab, and he has a cape, and he's Mad Kurt, and and he thinks he's a shit. And to watch him come out to Minoru Suzuki, and try and fucking challenge him, and it's just not even a match. He literally just gets the shit kicked out of him. I think now his character's gotten over more, and he's actually having proper matches. But he had this whole gimmick of literally just. So I can kind of see that. Obviously, Orange Cassidy is a recognized like good wrestler, but I've seen that whole thing of like someone who's like you're walking towards an absolute fucking like psychopath. With reverence, and it's like to watch it live is great. So obviously, look, I'll try and find that clip and send it to you afterwards because it's great. And
Mox and Minoru have had that match before, and it's happening tomorrow in Cincinnati. Cincinnati.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's going to be great. Now, Statlander versus Baker. I was watching this match today because this is one of the matches I couldn't watch on the night. And I'm just making these notes. And I'm just thinking, this match is fucking great. And it's a match that's not going to get a lot of credit compared to everything else that happened on that night. But I was just thinking of the quality of wrestling throughout this whole pay-per-view. It really was really good. And like I said, you've got to wait for a bit of time before you can say best of all time in terms of overall show. But I'm just, like Chris Statlander, since she came back from that injury, popped up in the toy machine and smacked that thing into Penelope Ford's face, she has just been on fire. I think in the ring she's great, and I think Britt Baker is obviously amazing. So I was really, really into this match. Thoughts, guys?
Like for me, I wasn't as into it as I was to the other matches, even though I was able to not predict, but just kind of feel what would be the better result. But like for the Britt Baker one, like it was a prediction because I was like, there's no way Chris Statlander's gonna win at all.
Yeah.
And because Britt Baker's fucking amazing right now. And while Chris Statlander is still good and there's still so much more potential for her, because she can just carry on and get better and better. She's definitely not the injury. You can tell when someone's been injured and then they just don't have the confidence in their body.
It's been completely different with her though, because she's come back better than ever since the injury. She's one of those crazy people. Because
maybe it's just again I need to go back and watch her other matches. I just she felt slow during some of the spots.
She's more of a strong. She was doing more of a strong sort of powerful style, but
that was my opinion.
Interesting. There, I'm just going to make a note of your opinion on this invisible typewriter.
I thought she looked good. I thought it was a good match.
But and I love in the build up they reused the time when Britt Baker said Chris Statlander being an alien is a crock of shit. And that's when Britt was injured and she was doing all this character work, and I'm like, this Britt Baker is hilarious. She made me laugh so much. I think that's so important with wrestling, especially with a heel.
I fucking love Britt Baker.
She's so funny and she's so great in the ring. And is she a heel? Who knows?
She is a heel, but but the crowd still fucking love her. I think that's the best way to describe it. Her character and the things she does is heel as fuck.
Is she a tweener? Is she a tweener or just like a heel that the people love? It's just going to be like a Stone Cold Steve Austin thing in the end.
Yeah.
Where she'll stop using Rebel and Jamie Hayter to get the wins. But I mean, I just thought a phenomenal match. Where I noticed this, and this was the case for a lot of matches, they're announced at having 60-minute time limit. I mean, that's too long, isn't it?
I put that down. The TNT match was 20.
It's like, why not?
That was championship match, isn't it? I think it's a championship match rule.
TNT's a championship as well.
For 30 minutes, surely. Imagine if
the women's is the big belt. TNT's an interim belt.
Miro won't be happy with that.
But I mean, imagine if all these matches went 60 minutes, we'd have a fucking one-day WrestleMania on our hands. But yeah, Statlander's area 451 the other night on Dynamite or Rampage just looked extra amazing for some reason. I can't really work out why. Twisting neck breaker off the top rope from Britt, lovely stuff. Double head trapping stomp thing on the apron looked really good. Statlander's head in between both the chins, stomp, good stuff. All right, I can't remember who was doing the elbows, but I think you had Britt land an elbow, and then when someone in the crowd went, yeah, harder, and then did another elbow, and the same guy went, yeah! So he was happy with the elbow work. That was good stuff. Fisherman's Buster from Chris. All of the moves look great. Like I said, Chris Statlander's got this strength where she'll just power you up and slam you down with all these great moves. I mean, I'm a big Britt Baker fan, but what I took away from this match was wow, Chris Statlander's got awesome. And I think, I didn't feel like she was going to beat Britt on the night, but she's become much more of a credible threat, I think. But obviously we're doing...
I think give her another year and then she's going to be fucking ready for the top.
But I'm very excited. Sorry, let's go.
No, I mean that was her second attempt at the title though. She had the match against Nyla Rose. Didn't look as good in that one.
Well,
but
that's
maybe
just
we
fine,
could
right?
blame.
Like...
Well, that's I mean, we could blame that on other things. But...
Yeah, Nyla Rose certainly hasn't had the standard of matches that someone like Britt Baker has had over the last year. But oh my god, Britt gave Chris a DDT, and she legit did the RVD cell, like spike on the neck.
I knew I missed something.
I forgot to say, her fucking selling, not just for that, but just in the whole match. Like, she did a few of those where I was like, okay, the selling is fucking amazing. It was
really, really cool.
Loved it.
It was really, really cool. And going back to what you said a little bit earlier, Kai, about the women's division in WWE, AEW, like, people give AEW's women's division like a lot of shit. I think they've stumbled along the way, but look at these two homegrown stars. You've got Britt Baker and Statlander, and the crowd were into it. And like when I see a Darby or a Jungle Boy, seeing these, or an MGF, I know they were on the indies before, but essentially you've got these AEW homegrown talents. You've got AEW already making stars, which is what Vince point blank refuses to do. It's not that he can't do it. He doesn't want anyone getting bigger than the brand, so he deliberately does not make stars. And we need stars for this industry to survive and thrive. And AEW, thank God, they're doing it.
I think we'll see when we get to the Battle Royale, like, they're definitely getting there. And compared to even just like 7 months ago, like, the way the women's division's like looking is in a much healthier shape. Yeah. But I'm not saying in terms of current form, but like in terms of women's wrestlers that I would really fucking like get like excited to see and like truly fucking pop for, WWE has way more. Like, way more.
But do they? Because like you go back and watch Raw over the past month, and it's literally Nia, Charlotte,
no, it's just a thing of not
Shayna Baszler. Like, it's just the same matches over and over again, and I'm sick of seeing them all.
It's the thing of just how they're used, because it's like, because Shayna Baszler, the fact that you're sick of seeing Shayna Baszler is just a fucking travesty.
Of course, it's a WWE problem.
Shayna Baszler is fucking amazing.
And while they're there, I will continue to not really give a shit, because Vince doesn't give me a reason to give a shit.
No, that's it, and it's not their fault, and that's the thing. But if Shayna Baszler was to turn up in AEW, fuck me, that would be. Just think about it right now. That would be the shit.
And they had all this goodwill with Bianca as well, but like, apparently it was Becky's idea to come back and be heel, but someone needed to say, we need a super hot babyface right now, and they've come back and they've sort of taken Bianca Belair down so many pegs. But anyway. I digress.
I mean, look at what they're basically. You'll see what they're doing with certain people in the women's division, like Jade Sky, for example. Like, they're gonna slowly build for her to be a fucking superstar, because she is a superstar. You can see it. Like, Jade Sky is fucking. Is that her name? Or that is the right name, right? I'm getting
Jade Cargill, isn't it?
Is Jade Cargill?
Is that you on the bell?
Jade Cargill and Sky Blue.
Sky Blue.
You can combine two wrestlers there. Yeah, Jade Cargill she still needs work in the ring, but like, her character is money.
And her look and her presence, and her great promo.
And Vince would be all over that. Statlander powers her up into this crazy like deadlift superplex that just looked amazing. Missed the area 451. Escaped the lockjaw. Electric chair slam, which was just brilliant. Booker T scissor kick for a 2. And a very well-deserved "This is awesome" chant, because that chant can be annoying when it's overused, but at the right time, when something is awesome, go for it. Missed pendulum moonsault, another amazing move by Statlander. Curb stomp on the outside. This match is amazing. And then to get Chris back into the ring before the 10 count, Orange Cassidy fires up, and he's like, "Come on, Chris, get up! Get in the ring!" And I was like, amazing, because Orange, when he needs to, he will fire up. And, when it's few and far between, it's very, very effective. But yeah, it was really, really cool. The spider crab submission move as well. Statlander was just impressing me over and over again. She didn't get the move locked in.
Them.
She didn't get the move locked in, but I saw the spider crab the other night. I thought it looked great. But yeah, Britt Baker kicks her way out of it. Britsburg Sunrise with the double guns. Crowd are going mad for the Adam Cole reference. Curb stomp, 2 count, lockjaw, submission. But yeah, I thought a really great match that unfortunately will probably get lost.
I don't know. I think what you said before is going to reign true. That like this, rather than this just be remembered as that pay-per-view where 1 or 2 things happened, I think people are going to just celebrate this whole pay-per-view like in the future. So like, hopefully it won't get lost. Hopefully it won't get lost.
Because it wasn't just the returns and Punk's first match. It was, you know, you got a solid bed of great quality wrestling matches, propping all of that stuff up.
But when we get to the tag match, that's when I.
Exactly.
Well, that's next, isn't it?
Well,
it is next. Isn't it?
Next we've got we've got the cage match. Now, you've got a tornado tag match within a cage, and all 4 of the guys wanted to have the greatest cage match of all time, and a lot of people are already calling it the greatest cage match of all time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's definitely as a cage match. Yeah.
All right, cool. Moving on to the Casino Royale battle.
Is that 3? Is that 3 for 3? Is it? Are we all saying it's the best?
Best in terms of cage match, I can't think of anything in a cage match. So we're not talking about War Games. We're not talking about Hell in a Cell. Just a cage match.
It's either between that or the Kennel from Hell for me. Al Snow and
what was it? Punjabi Prison.
Punjabi Prison, Kennel from Hell.
Yeah, the Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal. That's hard to beat, but they did.
No. Those matches were hard to see through all the bamboo.
It wasn't good, was it?
I can't think of, like, apart from some of the classic old Ric Flair cage matches. He had a good one with Triple H where they're just obviously bleeding all over the place. But it was so and I watched it twice because I didn't make notes the first time, but I just watched it before we went live today again, and it's just incredible, and the crowd are on the edge of their seats through the entire show. Kai, are you just seeing flashbacks of the match?
Yeah, I'm just literally seeing the match in my head and just remembering how I felt, because like that was the one match I didn't predict the result for or get the result right for, and I'm so glad I was wrong, because I fucking love the Lucha Bros, especially Penta. Yeah. Even though Phoenix is obviously, I always make the comparison of Owen Hart and Bret Hart, where it's like Owen Hart is the guy who's got so much fucking good in-ring shit going on, but Bret was like the guy, the more charismatic one, the one that you just fucking love to see. I feel that with Penta and Rey Fenix, whereas like Rey Fenix is just the shit. Like everything he does is brilliant to watch.
Well, I'll tell you, Rey Fenix
has my heart. Penta is just, I love that guy. I love that guy.
I wish he would stop changing his name, but yes, I love Penta as well. But Rey Fenix is the guy who, every time he does a match, I'll see something new, and I'll go wow out loud after watching wrestling for 22 years, because he shows me stuff that I've never seen before. And when he does that run across the top rope and PKs some dude in the head, it's fantastic. when he luchas up, as I call it, when they do the hand lock and they lucha up to the top rope, that's what I call it. Anytime Rey Fenix luchas up on something, you're in for a treat.
So I just got a quick response to the chat. It's like, look, obviously we all know Bruce Hart's the best Hart. All right, we can't. That's a different conversation.
What about me?
What about Loz Hart?
I mean,
yeah, Loz, I heard you.
Like, you're better than Jimmy the Anvil. I'll give you that.
I'll take it.
Loz, what's your heart gimmick though? Loz, fast beating heart due to too much caffeine.
Oh no, we don't want to go there.
The point is, Loz, you're alive, and you're with us.
Yes, that is true. I want to say one thing actually.
Go on.
Staying on topic. Before you say everything that's good about this match, I did feel slightly uncomfortable after that top rope Canadian Destroyer. Did anyone else feel like that?
The sound.
Did you see how he bounced off the mat?
The sound Matt Jackson's head made when it hit the mat, and then when he bounced and fell on the mat, it was such a loud slam. He landed with so much force that you're just like, because at this point, as much as the Canadian Destroyer always looks great, it's getting to the Spanish Fly levels where you're like, okay, here we go. All right, come on, another Destroyer. But recently they've been doing these Destroyers, like, or every single one has been brilliant, and spiked on his head, like Rich has said, an avalanche Destroyer, and the force that they came down on the ring, it was ridiculous.
But the thing was, Matt sold it for the rest of the match, and even later on in the pay-per-view. But by that point, you could obviously tell that, well, he must be all right then.
And the Young Bucks get a lot of criticism for not selling, but I think they actually do a really good job at it.
Brilliant sellers, brilliant storytellers.
Ray, I'm going to send you a clip of this move.
Ray, I tell you what. No, Ray, I tell you what. How about we watch this cage match over Discord over the next week sometime? I'm going to show you a match from this pay-per-view, and I think you might enjoy it.
You'll love the Lucha Bros. They wear masks.
Oh, Rich, I'll tell you the best thing about the Canadian Destroyer in WWE is that Vince has still got a ban on pile drivers, but for some reason didn't realise the Canadian Destroyer was a pile driver. Oh, it's a flip thing. What are you talking about here?
Slam.
But just crazy. And obviously the Lucha Bros and the Jung Bucks, as they call them in the media scrum, the Jung Bucks, the Jung Bucks and the Lucha Bros. They had that amazing ladder match as well with that Canadian Destroyer to Matt again, the poor guy, like off the ladder through a table. Just incredible. But hot start, punches. Bucks try to escape. Callis on commentary admonishes the Lucha Brothers for using the steel first. Says typical. Don Callis. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Double do-si-do. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. This is gonna convince the Cornette fans of the world to watch AEW more. The do-si-do spot. But oh man, like, so it's written Phoenix in my notes, different every time. We got Phoenix, Bucks. Later on, it just calls him Dennis. So I'm like Dennis with a Dennis takes the poison Rana. But like brilliant, but like I'm just trying to read my notes here. But
what an entrance as well, by the way. What an entrance!
Oh yeah, the Lucha Bros entrance,
so good.
Fucking brilliant.
Mikey Ruckus live apparently writes a lot of themes for everybody. Yeah, they look like they were having a great time, and a really good live music appearance at a wrestling show, which is rare. And as we saw at the Jericho match, it was right back to the usual standard.
Oh my god, that was shocking. Right, yeah, we'll get to that.
They had an idea there, and it didn't quite work out.
Who loves Fozzy? Boo!
Worst thing on the show, which is a good thing.
Saying something, for sure. But Nick and Phoenix end up on the top rope, and like Phoenix with that Hurricane Rana to Nick off the top, just incredible. Double super kick to the kneeling Jung Bucks. The cage looks awesome. I gotta say, it's high as fuck, and it looks. They're clearly not going to do like their version of a Hell in a Cell, so I think having a giant cage for like the go-to for Hell in a Cell and cage matches is just a smart move. It looks great. Bucks get slammed into it a lot, like I said, and get admonished. And Lucha Bros get admonished by Callis. Double speared, miss on the second spear, crash and burn. Turnbuckle cam thoughts, you guys? I think the turnbuckle cam is used amazing in this match to see it surrounded by the cage. But sometimes they'll cut to that turnbuckle cam and you'll see like just some dude's crotch, and you're like, it's not a great angle for a.
Was it the turnbuckle cam and it wasn't an actual cameraman in the corner?
No, it looked like the turnbuckle cam to me. I think like Penta or Phoenix was on top of it, and I thought that was it was just great to see the cage. You see, Ray knows wrestling. Bruce Hart is the best wrestler.
He is the best.
Rich skipping the Jericho match, but it could have been his last match ever, Rich. It could have been his last match ever.
It was a good match. I thought it was a good match.
It was good because it was a good build, wasn't it? Good story.
Nick Jackson's facial hair, everybody. I present to you Nick Jackson's facial hair.
Hilarious.
His dancing as well recently has been so funny. I can't get enough of the heel Bucks. I think
Oh, Hill
Well,
Bucks.
I think they're amazing.
Hill Bucks are the best Bucks, and yeah, isn't he doing like a Hollywood Hogan thing with his?
It
facial
was
hair now?
brilliant.
Slowly, like doing Hollywood Hogan.
But his beard looked different when he came out later, so I think he just washed out the blonde. But them coming out with the orangest of tans, it's like every part of their wardrobe. A good heel makes me laugh in a good way, because I just think they're doing it so brilliantly.
Yeah. Oh, no, Hill Bucks are fucking amazing. Like everyone in this match. Did you mention the Brandon Cutler? The shenanigans with the bag?
I've got some Brandon Cutler notes here. Yeah. Penta gets trapped between the cage and the apron. Gets kicked right in the face. Don Callis says, Brandon Cutler's filming this all for prosperity. And Tony Schiavone says, that is wonderful news for all of us worldwide. Salty, world-weary Tony Schiavone is...
I love him.
It's so good. And like I said, when you've got people like Tony getting a bad reputation because of all the things Eric Bischoff made him say at WCW, to see him, live his best life, as they say, it's just wonderful. It really is. Powerbomb to Cage looked a bit weird, and then like it looked like they repeated the spot, and like Penta reversed it. Oh no, sorry, Phoenix reversed it. JR keeps saying Penta say, which is wrong. It's Penta says. And JR keeps going, Penta say. And you can imagine like Excalibur and Tony being like, yes, Jim, Penta say. But whatever, like I said, you've got to give him, like, we've done a lot of podcasts and streams and voiceovers and stuff, and it just gets, you'll say the wrong name by accident, and don't worry about it, basically. And certainly don't send him any, like, hate over Twitter. I hear you're a racist now, Jim. Phoenix looches up onto the top rope, like I said, and every time he looches up there with the fingers interlocked and he's doing bounce, sit down, flip, boing, bam, boom, bam, arm drag. Later on, he was luching all about on the top rope, and then he kicks off the cage and arm drags Matt.
He did a fucking wall jump.
Yeah, it's just...
He did an actual
he's
fucking
so good.
wall jump.
This is what I'm saying about Phoenix. Like,
he's like Spider-Man or some shit.
And, then you tune into Raw, and WWE are like still playing that same lucha music, and you're like, oh, man. And they were eliminated in the tag team turmoil really quick as well, and you just think, I bet they're well jealous of Penta and Phoenix right now.
Yeah.
There's just so many amazing spots happening here, thick and fast, that I really couldn't write all of them down. But like, all of a sudden you can hear Brandon Cutler say, I can't spray you from here! Psh, psh. It was just absolutely phenomenal stuff. Cutler, you want to talk about dabs, Kai? Cutler's dab elbow the other day was just great.
Yeah.
This is awesome chant, but the crowd were wrong. It was in fact a phenomenal match.
Yeah, it's beyond awesome at that point.
Here we go. Here's the sentence in my phone. German duplex from Nick to Dennis on apron. You got to watch out for those German duplexes. And poor Dennis, but luckily he wasn't finished. Nick and Matt lock Penta into a sharpshooter crossface combo, and then we've got the assisted swanton for a 2 count. Tombstone with kick to the ass on Penta, combined with a senton on Phoenix from Nick.
Oh, that was good. Yeah.
And this is why I give Excalibur all the credit in the world. He's calling these moves without missing a step, and he's educating everyone, because Vince's mandate of having moves brushed over on commentary over the general story of the match, I think is really shit, because I used to know every wrestling move off by heart because of JR, and JR can't do that anymore, and Excalibur does it absolutely brilliantly.
And the only way I was able to learn wrestling moves recently is like in a fucking custom when you're creating a wrestler.
Exactly.
Like,
it was Jim Ross.
Move, like,
it was Jim Ross, Joey Styles, and Create a Wrestler back in the day. And when I interviewed AJ Lee, which he stopped laughing at my opening line, which was good, to be honest. Like you and me, Kai, and you as well, I'm sure, Loz. AJ learnt a lot of wrestling moves and their names from the Create a Wrestling mode. in which you can spend hours and hours of your life. But yeah, BTE trigger missed. Springboard double crossbody caught, amazing, jumping nothing into low blow. That was when Phoenix does like a roll and did this kind of like star jump into the air.
Yeah.
And Matt booted him right in the bollocks.
That was just a bit suspect, that wasn't it?
It was great. And it followed by another low blow. Crowd boo, but it's legal. Come on. More bang for your buck. Penta breaks up the pin. Now this is when they start ripping at their masks. Callis says...
That's what I've noted. Yeah.
Callis,
how good the ripped mask looked.
Yeah, and Callis says, we don't care about their customs. Tony says Callis is full of shit. Excalibur apologises for salty Schiavone, and Tony's like, I don't apologise. You don't apologise. I ain't apologising. Fantastic. I tweeted him more salty Schiavone, please.
Yeah.
Because it's fantastic every single time. And then Cutler throws the bag over the cage, so that's impressive because I would have fucked that up.
I would have fucked that up.
And what's in the bag? A Nike sneaker with thumbtacks lined on the sole. Matt Jackson licks it, and we get the "You sick fuck" chant that I've not heard in a while. So it's good to hear that again.
Yeah, that's a good chant.
It's also funny when like someone takes a slam on Jelly Babies and you get a "You sick fuck" chant as well. Kai, you're just skinning up on Twitch. That's cool.
It's a cigarette. It's fine.
No, it's fine. Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just confirm your address for me again.
It is 123 Fake Street.
King Road. King Road.
Great part.
But yeah, Penta gets in the way. Penta's like gets in the way of Phoenix getting the thumbtack super kick to his face. So he's trying to save his younger brother there. Very, very cool. But unfortunately for Penta, he then gets super kicked in the face with the thumbtack shoe. Ouch. Then Nick Jackson forcing Penta's face into Matt's foot while Matt's in the corner rope with his foot stuck out. Then he runs from the other corner back to Penta and kicks his fucking face into Matt's shoe. It was ridiculous. And then Ray breaks up the fucking pin, and the crowd explode for that pin breakup because it looked like it was over.
Yeah,
Matt puts shoe on hand.
Shoe on hand.
But then Ray cleans house. It's amazing. Ray hits Nick and Matt with the shoe. Black Fire driver for 2. Oh my god, what a cage match. JR says we're watching a classic, and he would not be wrong about that. Ray and Nick brawl on the cage wall. Both older brothers package pile drive the younger brothers, which I think is weird when you've got like, and they've done that in a few Young Bucks matches over the years. Rather than do a move while you see your brother have a move done on him, just quickly try and stop that from happening. But anyway, they both did the old Zero, Miedo, and double package pile drivers. Very, very cool.
Just honestly, like every single spot in this match and the way it built up, just
you're right. A perfect crescendo. Then you've got Sammy and Kevin punches in the ring. Destroyer off the top, and like you said, Loz, the sound when Matt slams on the floor and the way he bounced was just it was insane. It was absolutely insane. And
it was so bad.
I mean, the magic of pro wrestling, eh? The fact that like Matt Jackson standing up and walking around today is he
sold it. Yeah, the fact that I'll say it again, the fact he sold it the whole time after, I was just like, oh no.
Better
but added to the drama, if anything.
Chops from all four, super kick from Nick to Phoenix, super kick from Phoenix to Matt, super kick from Matt to Penta, super kick from Penta to Matt, and then it's nip-ups. It's a super kick party, and then everyone's down. Excalibur welcomes new fans to All Elite Wrestling. AEW chants. Just wonderful stuff. Nick's flipping Irish whip. Nick's flipping Irish whip counter. I love. You know, he gets whipped. Nicky kind of grabs on, does like a cartwheel, and then that's followed with Ray's Irish whip counter, where he kind of does like a 619 sort of move, but back in, and then that rotating kind of roundhouse kick. I can't get enough of it. And then we've got assisted package pile driver, but the pin is broken up. Penta tells Phoenix to go up to the top of the cage, which is a classic older brother move.
Yeah.
No, you go up there. Mum and Dad will be more proud of you if you do it.
As a little brother, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as an older brother, I'll be like, no, you should steal the cookies because of the CCTV cameras. Yeah, exactly, Rich. How is his neck not broke? It's not for us to ask because that would make us such howdy-do-dats. Oh my god! But they teased the assisted package pile driver off with Phoenix on the top of the cage, but instead we see Phoenix is running PK that I mentioned earlier on when he does it on the top of rope, but he did it on the top of the cage to Nick, and then we've got Phoenix's like picture perfect crossbody onto all three dudes standing below him. We've got their crazy assisted pile driver that looks like a move me and Crashing Balls used to do to our friend Kieran, and we've got new tag team champions and new hashtag.
I can't remember the last time I celebrated a wrestling win from a pay-per-view so much, because it's much easier when you're at an event to get super excited, you know, and stand on your feet and shout. But I literally was just like, fucking yeah! I got so excited because one night,
fucking yeah!
Because I really thought that the Bucks were going to retain, and
it was a good time to take the titles off them.
It's a good time to take the titles off them, and also Lucha Bros fucking deserve it because they're just they're fucking amazing. As you've seen, they're fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
But again, I've been since I started watching, I think it was 4 years ago, I caught up on the Lucha Underground, and that was my first experience with Penta, and since then
me too
I've just been fucking hooked on the guy. I just think he's
Penta had a match with Kairi Sane, I think, and it was oh my god,
it was against Kairi Sane. I forget, it was three. It was Kairi Sane, someone else, and then Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Gauntlet match. And I think Kairi Sane was the one that he just beat the fuck out of. It
was ridiculous, and he'd break a lot of. Was he breaking arms or fingers at the time?
Yeah, he was breaking arms. No, he does the falling armbar, where it's so he falls and cranks it back as he's dropping to make it look like he's breaking arms.
And immediately when you see him, his mask and his face paint underneath the mask, it's a great look, and so much so that Kai. I mean, I know what you're saying. When I first started to see the Lucha Brothers, I was like, oh, it's Penta and some other guy. And then the more you watch Phoenix, the more you realise that he is one of the best luchadors, if not the best of all time. And I don't say that lightly.
Going back to what you said before, it's he just does new shit. As in not just new for him, new as I've not seen someone do that in the fucking ring before.
Yeah.
Like that wall kick, even though there's been so many cells and other things like that, I don't think I've seen someone at least get that much air from it, where it was like a video game character. It was a legit wall jump.
Yeah,
he fucking wall jumps. That's the only way to describe it.
The first time,
and then
it's fucking air. It's like when I saw Jody Fleisch do the wall unit for the first time, a run up the wall and then a backflip. It's people like Jody Fleisch and Ray Phoenix that defy gravity and break the laws of physics, and God bless him, because I can't do that. I can barely move.
I don't have time climbing a ladder.
Jables, thank you so much for that resub, dude. And it is most excellent to see you. So thank you so much for dropping by and resubbing. Kai, if you have trouble climbing a ladder, then you should go and work in WWE. You're born to do it.
Wait, look around. And then go back up.
It's time for the Casino Battle Royale, and the format of this is so messy. There's four suits.
I got used to it now, though.
I got used to it.
But it's too complicated. But I think we've all found over the years that if it's not the Royal Rumble, Battle Royales are tough to give a shit about and get into.
Why don't they just copy the fucking Royal Rumble and just change the time?
I think it's fine.
What about the reverse Royal Rumble?
Now they've got in the reverse what you start with 30, and when you
remember that
when you get countdown, you have to leave the ring.
TNA have done it. Now everyone you got to. It's the first in the ring, and they're fighting outside of it. It's so rubbish, but they
really do that.
Yeah, reverse battle royal. But how could you? You've got to change it. You can't just do a Royal Rumble. You would have to change it. So I applaud what they're trying to do with the suits, but
do you know what they did to fix it? giving everyone their own entrance.
Well,
they didn't do that before.
They do, but they don't, because what happens is it's the first person from each suit gets a proper entrance where the camera's
not
there.
really. They all cut some of them off.
They were shorter, but
yeah. But the thing is, what's happening is you could see it where there's a number of times where you got the whole Rumble thing. You get in the ring, you do a spot to announce yourself there, and then it just goes back to being a Rumble. Like everyone just kept on trying to get their things in so quick when they got in, and there's just too many people got lost in the.
Yeah, it was a classic clusterfuck
that's
battle
always
royale.
going to happen.
Yeah,
it's always going to happen.
But it was fine because it gave. Sorry, Loz, to finish your point.
No, I was just going to say, like before they didn't do. I'm pretty sure they all came as a group last time, and just a group of five all ran in.
They'll all literally walk down the ramp at the same time.
Well, Raging Silver's made it better instantly. Instead of having the whole group come in, have a random selector each time. So suits, exactly. And the whole suit thing, like I get it, but it's a bit hard
but then
to follow.
That's just a Royal Rumble, though.
Yeah,
that's just a Royal Rumble for you.
Yeah, but you still got it in the suit, so it's like.
But that doesn't mean anything because you don't know who's in each one, do you?
But it doesn't matter. That's the thing. It's just a gimmick. Like it's still essentially a Royal Rumble, and now you don't
make
have
more
the time
sense.
frame. It's just. Fuck it, I'm nitpicking because it's still way better than it was.
But I'm nitpicking. 9 on 10.
That's it.
But it obviously gave us the moment. The crowd were chanting for her before she came out. It's Ruby Soho. She's been doing the vignettes. She was released from WWE, so she didn't leave. And like I said, all the more emotional to see her come out with that reaction to the open arms of the crowd because they love her and they want to see her. And it was Lars Fredrickson of Ranted who said, "Hey, how about you calling yourself Ruby Soho and using the music, a song that I know very, very well." And yeah, I mean, it's going to get her. It's going to give her so much extra clout because like with the whole Punk thing, for an example, you can't underestimate Cult of Personality being a big part of the package. So it's gonna elevate. It's only gonna be good for Ruby Soho, and we're gonna be getting Ruby versus Britt, which is great because you've come in there with a female superstar, if you will, already on that level as a credible challenge to Britt Baker's world title reign.
Well, the thing is though, no, I'm just gonna go to the chat for 1 second.
Oh, Rich, I love Thunder Rosa.
I love Thunder Rosa.
She can win anything she likes.
I want Britt to hold the belt for a bit longer, so I'm okay with Ruby. I think Ruby Soho can lose this title challenge and be okay,
or at least get look like get the visible win or whatever, and then being screwed out of it. But she could eventually beat Britt for it though after a feud, I think.
Yeah.
Or do you still think too soon?
I think Thunder Rosa. Well, maybe, but again with Thunder Rosa being around, I would like it so they do the Ruby Britt thing now, then the Ruby Britt wins, and then Thunder Rosa comes back in.
Rosa. Again, that music is part of what gets people being like, yeah.
But then that's what I love about it. If you do like a Ruby Thunder thing, it's like Punk versus Metal. Like, so it's just gonna be
exactly. And Pat-Man's brought something I've got in my notes. We want Tessa. No, we don't. Dueling chants right there.
No, we don't.
She's a full-on racist, allegedly.
Yeah, but here you're racist now, Tessa. I want that.
Oh man.
And also there's another thing just while we're I think it was Poobles as well. Like, JR is a dirty old fecker. Whereas like Jamie Hayter thick on commentary, and it's like, well, yeah, dirty old fecker, but he's not fucking wrong, is he? Like just it's
also this isn't. It's always been a problem with JR on Twitter because he would like retweet a load of stuff, but now Twitter has made it worse for the horny young men and older men out there because you see all your mates on your follow list liking these pictures, and it's like it used to. If you liked something, you wouldn't put it on someone else's feed, but now you can see every bikini shot that JR's liking, and you're like, oh Jim.
He's still not realised. No one told him yet.
I would doubt that he's probably been told it. I would imagine he immediately forgot it. Yeah.
He just doesn't care. It's like what? I'm old.
Yeah, Jade Cargill out too early as well. I would agree on that.
How did Jade go out? I don't remember. Do you remember?
I think it was a bit of a surprise elimination, wasn't it?
Or was it a double? She was ganged on, wasn't she?
It was kind of like it felt like a bit of an anticlimax and a bit of a damp squib of an elimination.
Maybe it was Jamie and Rebel teaming up, because they were teaming up a little bit.
Oh, it was Nyla Rose.
Oh, it was Nyla, okay.
That'll set up a feud, won't it?
No, Nyla took out... Wait, are Jade and Nyla on the same team right now?
I don't know. Oh, Jade's with Smart Mark Sterling, which is a great name.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, that's that. I mean, I can't remember. I don't think I got anything else to say about that match.
So we'll move on then. Now, Darby versus Punk. I just want to say something about Darby. He's so great in every way. He's a skateboarder. That's part of his gimmick. But he's not just a skateboarder. Like in the new generation, say, you'd have a wrestler who was a skateboarder, full stop, you know. Knee pads, stupid helmet, and a skateboard. But Darby is so much more of a complex character. He's got the straight edge side to his personality. He's got the gothic face paint side to his personality, the skateboarding side, the daredevil side. I just think it's great. And he's one of the guys since AEW started that you see him and like, oh, okay, let's see what this guy's all about. And then I love the guy. I love the guy. I think he's fantastic and a great and like fantastic for him to be able to have a match with Punk. I would say
not to be pedantic, but wasn't MJF and Jericho before this match?
Oh, really? No, I have zero notes on it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
No, Loz, thank you for that. I didn't. Yeah, I finished the cage match and basically jumped onto this podcast, so I thought I'd covered all the matches. But yeah, you've got MJF doing the incredible Y2J spoof intro, coming out dressed like a king.
Brilliant.
MJF's another guy, like a guy that can do no wrong in my eyes, a homegrown talent who's just...
Oh, God, I love him.
One of AEW's many legit stars who are in their 20s that Vince... It's the kind of stars that Vince should be making, but he just point blank refuses to do so.
He would never let MJF be MJF. And like, it's one of those things where... just like... Looking at the way, like MJF is one of those few wrestlers that he does the 24/7 kayfabe thing.
Not only that, but a perfect example of why certain wrestlers should just be trusted to go out there and do a promo. Because back in the day, Loz, you'll remember, The Rock's promo was usually the highlight of an episode of SmackDown or whatever, and you'd look forward to the talking segments. Now, a talking segment in WWE is painful because people are tripping over the lines they can't remember, and there's zero passion. The backstage interviews are, you might as well skip them, go and put on the kettle, because there's no point in watching them. People don't get fired up. Everyone in AEW, they start a lot calmer, but a lot of them end in more of an 80s, 90s shouty wrestler promo. But you can always hear the crowd pipe up when they're starting to get fired up near the end of it. And that's, like I said, that's what I want to see Jungle Boy do. But Jericho's been doing some great promo work leading up in this feud. I do want them to stop feuding with each other now, though, MJF and Jericho.
This is it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's good.
Jericho did a little Instagram post, and ending it officially.
Not just Jericho and MJF though. No more Inner Circle and Pinnacle.
Oh yeah. We don't need that.
That whole feud.
Yeah. Well, it's died down. Like they had to redo the FTR Proud and Powerful match because of that ridiculous turnbuckle skin ripping injury. Oh my god.
I forgot about that.
But that was another great tag match the other day, and I agree. Because we've seen Pinnacle and Inner Circle do it all now, so I'd love to see different stuff. And and like I said, the future's so bright for MJF. Like I said, I don't have notes for this match specifically, but is there anything anyone wants to mention from the match?
I just remember the match being really solid, being better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah. Definitely better than the last match the two had.
Yeah, and amazing selling from MJF when he was in the walls as well. Like incredible selling. And I've heard some experts say that the reason why we see MJF doing a lot of talking and not a lot of wrestling is because he's not that great in the ring. But I have to vehemently disagree with that, because every time he has a match, he's fantastic, and he's showing what a great baby face he would make with the nip ups, the way he does. I think he's a phenomenal worker, and the selling during that walls near the end was just great.
The story in that match, fucking perfect. And also it's one of those things where it's good that Jericho got a win back, and it doesn't hurt MJF because he's still 3-1 in terms of wins against Jericho, and it's fucking great to have his first loss in AEW, his first singles loss, to be against Chris fucking Jericho after all this time. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? That's because his whole gimmick isn't about being undefeated anyway. It's about being just the best. So
because
he can still carry it with that.
And Jericho will get heat from some as well, from doing so many matches recently, and some of them. And Jericho's always been kind of sloppy, like Punk. So he's not always going to do the most amazing in-ring match, but he's helped make MJF into a star.
Oh yeah.
And you've got to credit him for that.
So many people, like pretty much all, like Jericho, since he's been in AEW, has done such a good job. Even though, he made the belt mean something by being the first champion.
And all the credit for him going there on day one, because people like Punk, and you can't criticize Punk for this. It's like, well, it sounds exciting, but let's see what you guys are all about over the year, and and we've seen that they're not going anywhere. They're getting their TV deals renewed. So, and like I said, that and then you're seeing Punk, Cole, Bryan come in at the same time. And like I said, historic pay-per-view, feels like the turning of the tide. MJF reminds me of The Miz, but better.
That's an insult.
Don't. I think, Rick, can you tweet that, MJF? Because you would get quote tweeted. It would be brilliant. His response would be brilliant. Please tweet that. Also, MJF, you remind me of a not quite as good Miz.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but he's saying he's better than Miz, isn't he?
Why, Poogles? Why? Because your expectations are too damn high. But Hangman MJF, when Hangman comes back, there's so many exciting matches that we've never. This is the problem with WWE. We've seen a lot of matches before, and they hammer those rematches into the ground. So many exciting match possibilities in AEW with the Impact stars, with the New Japan stars, and the NWA stars. It's
and Triple R as well. There's still some great guys.
Triple R. But yeah, of course, Jericho's entrance, the crowd. I've got to blame the guitarist, because he wasn't. Yeah, you need to play. You can't be noodling around. You've got to play the song in a structured way that the crowd can sing along to. But it could have been good, but unfortunately it wasn't. It was a lot better the other time when Jericho had his entrance music banned by MJF, and somehow the crowd sung every single word of that song in unison. Seeing Jericho come out and do the pose for his pyro while the crowd was singing a cappella, it was tingly, and I'm one of the people who quite enjoys Judas still. So I know a lot of people are starting to get bored of it, but
I hated the song because I remember the first hearing the song. I think it was a takeover. They had it as a takeover song.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so because it's Fozzy, isn't it? The first time you hear Fozzy, you're like, oh, no.
And I was like, oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, but all right. And then when he started using it as his entrance, I was like, oh, it's that song from Takeover. And now I fucking know it word for word. Yeah. I love it every time I hear it.
And it's a wrestling anthem. Hey, Saz, what's going on? Pat-Man, you're right. Yeah, he was all over the place. You need to be... But I mean, well, he's a guitarist. So,
Was it all his fault though? Didn't the audio crack massively?
We drummers are used to the guitarists falling out of time, and basically a lot of them have no concept of rhythm. But what are you going to do? So now that does take us on to Punk versus Darby Allin. Now, Kai, what I've got to give you massive props for is this: you've not stuck to your negative guns, and you're not like, I still think CM Punk's a little bit overrated and rubbish. To be honest, you said. I love the match. You said, I like CM Punk now, and you said Chris was right, or something like that.
Well, I think what I said was that now I've seen it live, and I've been able to see be there to see certain things. Now, wait, what the fuck? Oh wait,
See ordered.
oh good. No, that's not me. I know who that is. 1 second. I need to do this. You guys carry on. That won't be long.
Okay. Now, Loz, it's got to be said, but it was really weird seeing Punk in long tights at first, because it was just so weird seeing him not in his little trunks. But this is classic Punk. Every time he makes a return, he wants to have a new look in some way. He wants to be a new CM Punk, which I think is the only smart thing to do. I've rebranded the channel. I cut my hair. Makes sense. Yeah?
Yeah. Reintroduction.
And
Restart. Relaunch.
But it took my eyes, do you know what I mean? Every time I looked at Punk in the long tights, my eyes and my brain were like, it couldn't quite work out what they were seeing. But
was that the first time he's done it then?
It was Punk in the Indies and Ring of Honor used to be like the baggy fight shorts. Then he was short tights, short trunks in WWE.
Yeah.
And now long tights. But it's cool. It's like a bit of an Edge look, bit of a Shawn Michaels look, and good stuff. Thank you, Saz.
Didn't he do a Twitter post about them and then swiftly deleted it?
Oh, really? I did not see that.
I think I might be wrong, but
was it the police guy?
It was the wrong person.
He's been swatted. Yeah, it was Trunks, yay or nay, or something like that, and then people voted for Trunks. So.
All right. Well, I knew that he was talking for ages about he didn't have boots. He needed to get his boots. But yeah, Kye, after seeing, we were just talking about what a change it was to see Punk in long tights after seeing him in the short trunks all these years. But like I said, he wants to change his look when he comes back, and I think that's the smart thing to do. So great stuff. But I've got to say, like, CM Punk's return to Rampage, like, it felt so good. I got a bit emotional because, like, he's coming out, he's getting emotional. You can feel the passion from the crowd. You can feel the emotion. You can see that guy crying, and I was the same. I was into it. Saz, thank you so much for that sub. And Saz, I like your hair. All right, so we'll get some sort of good hair club started, and we won't let Kye join because it'll kill him.
I'm the president.
Because Kye's gimmick is all about the hair. And eating a 5-course meal when we're doing a podcast. Well, no, it's fine.
Chocolate pretzels.
Chocolate pretzels? Mike, you're not an actual king. Stop living like one. You're so decadent. My pretzels must be chocolate covered.
Chocolate pretzel only, please. Thank you.
Well, quite. But like, yeah. So I'm so into Darby. I'm so into Punk's return. In the back of my mind, I'm like, Punk's a bit of a sloppy wrestler at times. I'm worried about him having sloppy moments and the people who want CM Punk to fail to just tear him apart for it. But there was one misstep and the rest of it just looked great. Because Punk's, like I said, he can be sloppy, but he is more than capable of having a really good match. He's never going to be my favourite in ring, like a Kurt Angle at his peak. But Punk is great in the ring and one of the best at mic work, building anticipation for a match. Like, and it's great to see it again. It really is. Like, we didn't think that we'd see Punk in wrestling again, and to now have AEW as, like I said, this viable alternative where people like Punk can go, people like Bryan can go and do exactly what they want. It's the best time ever.
It's so exciting. It's like the possibilities are fucking insane. Right.
And Punk looked in good shape as well. He's always been very skinny, but he looked good. And you can almost hear everyone running to their Create a Wrestler section in 2K19 at once, and they're like, Pike and long tights! Oh god, Pike and long tights! Upload! Whew. Jesus.
The thing I loved as well, because part of the story at least felt like that at the start of the match he had a bit of ring rust, and I don't like CM Punk is so good.
Taking it slow.
I don't know if he was doing that because it was part genuine that he wanted to take a slow thing, or if it was just part of the story. In terms of him being not because you could see in the match he got better.
Yeah, I reckon it was a bit of
As
both.
the match went on, and the fact, the great thing is the fact you can't see where the reality ends and begins,
And that's when wrestling's the best.
Yeah,
That's why I would love to, because Kai, Lou, don't get me wrong. Like over the past 7 years, being a CM Punk fan hasn't always been easy because, that him and Cabana suing each other, and he's a notorious prick. But if you look back at the history of wrestling, and there's a lot of prickish behaviors, and people have done way worse than Punk. But anyway, my point is, I would love to see them do something with Punk and Cabana. Something, because if those guys are more friendly with each other at the moment, if they can do any on-camera thing, because of the history, best friends for 20 years, I think it would be really cool, and I just hope both guys would want to do it, but I have a feeling that they won't.
I don't know how you could do it without making Punk heel, though. That's the only thing.
Maybe when Punk's heel, I think Punk will be heel eventually, and
he's a great heel.
But then again, maybe not. I mean, who knows if the fans will accept him as a full heel and boo him like they're supposed to.
I can't see it. Not at the moment.
Yeah, who was that guy in Batman on the media? It's like, how would you rate your performance, Punk? I'll give you about an 8. Looked a bit blown up. Punk just he pisses himself with laughter. It was great though, dude. It was great. But yeah, I mean, we've got like Darby's. Do you know what I love about Darby's suicide dives? They look like suicide dives.
Yes.
It's like he's been shot out of a cannon. He comes at you on the side. I just love the way he moves. Like he's God bless him, because, well, a lot of people said Jeff Hardy wouldn't be wrestling now, but he is. But like, you don't want to see Darby fuck his body up beyond repair.
I do worry about Darby sometimes. But
Nikki, what's going on?
You.
Thank you so much for joining. We're talking about wrestling, Kai. Please continue.
But like the suicide dives, like they're one of the few suicide dives that actually look like an attack. It looks like it hurts the opponent. Most suicide dives, someone jumps out and then they get caught, and then
it's so much force.
Yeah,
like the other day when I forget which one from 2.0 was like, Sting, it's the real Sting, and Darby comes like I said, like shot out of a cannon, off camera. It was just fantastic. Yeah. But they mirrored the Money in the Bank 2011 spot with the GTS out of the ring. Punk really needs to stop standing at that point in the ring when he's going for the GTS, but really cool as you've got a GTS earlier on in the match, and you're not having Darby kick out of it, because Vince booking like 5 F5s in one match, that needs to be scaled back a bit, because finishers need that clout, that finishing ability.
Yeah.
This is the Big Sweaty Men podcast. That's what we should have called it.
Oh fuck.
Oh well, we'll stick with it.
We can change it. We can change it.
We'll
get
still
the logo made. Get the logo.
We're going to stick with Hook the Leg for now, Poodles. But you've got 3 Big Sweaty Men as well, so it's literally the best of both worlds.
Yep.
Darby's got like a super. One of his moves is like a super pin, the Last Supper. It's so cool. It's like, you cloverleaf the legs, and then he's like bending them back like that. And I just think that like having a move that's a really cool pin is just awesome. And just watching Darby work, like I said, I love his theme. I love his face paint. I love the guy.
Oh, he's brilliant. His whole gimmick's great. I love his entrance music. Fucking like the thing with Sting, even though it's fun to take the piss out of it, is like I love the whole emo dad.
I love it too. I mean,
but also I love them together. I think it's a great pairing. It's awesome to see the rub that Darby Allin's been getting, and like that is like him and Jungle Boy and MJF are the future top guys. You can really fucking see it, and they're being treated as such.
And you can tell that everyone, like I said, you get the vibe from AEW that you hear this about a lot of workplaces, but they do seem like a family, and you can see that everyone's having the time of their life. When Eddie Kingston's like posing for the selfie with Sting, and you can see Sting's having a great. Everyone's happy, and it's. And you can tell, because we can pick up on that as fans watching it, and it makes us happy, and it makes us have a great time as well. I've got to say, but Saz and Nikki earlier on we mentioned of like maybe showing Ray and anyone else who wants to watch one of these matches over Discord. in the next week, it'll be really cool because there's some great stuff to watch.
Has to be the cage match, right?
But it was yeah. But it was a great comeback match for Punk. There was some great transitions and spots, and Punk gets the win with the GTS. And
what was that? Darby flying through the turnbuckle out to the outside, the Irish whip. That was a bit mental, wasn't it?
Oh my god, this is what I'm talking about. Darby's like reckless abandon.
Oh god, was there one point where he fucking landed on his head underneath the fucking barrier, something mad like that?
Oh no, but maybe. But I thought he cracked his head on that turnbuckle spot, or the ring post spot.
I swear there was one point where
mad.
I need to watch that match again.
Yeah, I swear there's one point he got thrown into the railing, and he hit it upside down, and when he landed, it was just like bonk head onto the fucking concrete or some shit like that. Like it was. He's fucking mental. I love it, but like,
God bless him for it though. Yeah, God bless him because we ain't doing that. And then I'm like, okay, now I get why they put this big show. I've just called it Big Show, like JR, because fuck it.
No more BS.
They put this Big Show and Cutie Pie. I've called him here. Cutie Pie Marshall, as like a buffer in between the semi-main and the main event. And it was 3 minutes, so any longer would have been bad. And I guess but I saw some people tweet that they think this is a Vince McMahon idea of like bringing the crowd down after a match and then bringing them back up. I mean,
match.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and like piss break match.
Toilet break. That's needed. Yeah. It's like it makes sense to do it. I thought it was a good idea.
I saw someone mention that this match was going to go it could have been a squash or it could have gone longer depending on how much time they needed to fill.
Apparently they put the match where it was so that if matches had gone longer it could be cut no problem. So I mean I think that's it's actually quite smart. Saz AEW is a very new exciting wrestling company, and basically it's a very exciting time for wrestling. It's got new young stars who will just blow your mind when you see what they can do in the ring. And basically AEW is here to save wrestling. Forget everything you knew about wrestling. That's what I told Mike Power, guys. Mike Power. I've been trying to get him into wrestling for years. No time for it. I said, forget everything you've seen before. I showed him some new exciting AEW stuff, and he was into it. He was asking all kinds of questions, and it was really cool. And he part of why Mike's interested to see more AEW stuff is because it's a new exciting company, and who doesn't want to be in on the ground floor with something new and exciting,
Also, like Mike's gonna like it because I know how much he likes story investment in stuff, and I can understand why he would never watch WWE because at best they have good short-term booking occasionally. You don't get year-long fucking booking.
Exactly. There's no such thing as long-term booking in WWE. He just books in moments.
And you get multiple there's multiple year-long fucking arcs going on right now, whether it's at the front or still going on in the background a little bit, like while other wrestlers are fighting. It's so fucking good.
Exactly. Well, Saz, the time is now because a lot of people stopped watching wrestling in the 90s until 2021.
Trust me, yeah. Saz, you'll love it. I guarantee you'll love it.
But like I said, I know why they put this match when they did, but I just made a note here. Match kicked off around 4 a.m. UK time. So I was just like, ugh. And
I personally loved it because, as I said as well, they did a good job of like. I just realized that I hated QT Marshall, but not in Go Home Heat. That's what a heel should be.
Yes.
I don't like him. I want to see someone
Go Away Heat.
Yeah, I want to see someone beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was.
Go away Heat, rather than go home Heat, where someone says, Kai, go home. All right.
I don't like that Heat. I don't like it.
But you've got Show smacks the shit out of QT's chest, the old shush spot. Some interference from the cronies and a showstopper with It'll Be Paul White on the night actually going down to one knee, which was pretty impressive because he used to drop down to both knees with the showstopper choke slam, which was brilliant. He hasn't really been able to do that because his knees are fucked, but he went down on one knee. So Big Show, I take my hat off to you for that.
Oh, he looked good. It was exactly what it should have been in terms of length. People just getting shit thrown around, like choke slams, big slap, loads of chops to the chest, big fucking. He was just ripping everyone's shirt off. It was fucking great.
And don't you love it that
I wouldn't say he looked good though. I wouldn't go that
for
far.
his age. For his age, you know. What I'm saying? He looked good by his standards.
We don't really need
his current standards.
we don't want to see these Paul White matches too often. Once a year.
No.
Once a year is fine.
Once a year. Let him get his paycheck. He deserves it.
And he's got that guy on speed dial on his phone. It's like, hey, the guy that goes, hey, I need you on my new joint.
Yeah, Mike didn't even pick that up.
That's so great. But then we got a sweaty Mox promo talking about burying Minoru Suzuki on Dynamite. Apparently he said that him against Minoru in the ring is better than any drug, and Mox would know because he's tried them all. Imagine that promo on WWE. Well, you wouldn't get it.
That's a good promo.
But yeah, I mean, like a face like try all the drugs, kids, and then do death matches. That's the way to live. Malachi.
You could be a millionaire like me.
Malachi Black promo on Dustin. Obviously we all know that Aleister Black's, he was great at doing the mysterious backstage promos in WWE, but he was locked in a closet asking for a fight. And now look what he can do when he's got, like I said, the creative freedom. I love talking about
so good.
He talked about putting a coin on each of Shotty Lee's eyelids so he can pay the boatman's toll. I think that's great. I'm not sure if it's going to be a catchphrase because he said it again on All Out. And then and then the audience go, the boatman's toll. Maybe not, but Loz, you said the other day Malachi Black's entrance is awesome. Yeah, I said I love how they literally got a song with a guy just going, ah! Ah! It's like the kind of music you parents.
Mike can pick that up.
What parents hear when like you listen to rock music? That's what parents hear when it's like I was just screaming. Yeah. That was just a noise.
Yeah. It's that or Goku.
Did you say Mike? My mic didn't pick that up.
Yeah, it peaked a bit.
Okay, well that's good.
That might be the Discord.
I was doing it very quietly, but because I didn't want to scream you guys' ears off.
Thank you, so considerate.
But and that brings us to our main event of the evening: Kenny Omega versus Christian Cage for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. I don't know if they actually call it the Heavyweight Championship, but it was the title match.
World Championship, isn't it? I think just World Championship.
AEW World Championship.
You've got to pay the boatman's toll to get into that boy's hole. Exactly, Pat. Or should I say, Nightman? I get your references. But I'm pretty sure Kenny has a dyed beard as well as hair, which again, brilliant. Him and the Young Bucks with their heel beards, it's just incredible. Oh. I love the spot where someone's underneath the table and someone like Kenny stamps on it, cracks it over Christian.
Oh, that was
love that move.
Also, I love Don Callis' pink suit as well.
Yes. Exactly, Kai. Yes, as Tony Khan has a father who is a billionaire and owns Fulham as well as an American football team called the Jacksonville Jaguars. So you've got a 35-year-old wrestling fan, which Vince McMahon is not, and he's got billions of dollars, and it's led to one of the most exciting times in wrestling ever. So it's just a really, really exciting time. Yeah, and Saz, he's also doing stuff like paying for all this licensed music for wrestlers' entrances, and it's just been great. Although someone tweeted before All Out itself that they'd heard that Europe charged the most out of every artist to license Final Countdown, and it seemed to be too expensive even for the great Tony Khan because we did not get the Final Countdown. But I mean, it's fine. You don't
need it.
Brian doesn't need it, does he?
Most people recognize the Rise of the Valkyrie as well, rather than
exactly
in terms of associating it with him.
Yeah, for sure. They teased a German suplex off the apron through a table. They teased a snapdragon off the apron through a table. They teased a kill switch off the apron through a table, and then they teased a one-winged angel off the apron through a table. Every single one of those moves would have killed both wrestlers. But the spear that Kenny ended up taking still looked like it fucking sucked right on the corner of the table. Ouch.
Also, did you see...
More like a shoulder tackle, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see how, like, the table leg was still upright when Cage fucking, like, hit it and he got, like, the gash on his... I thought he cracked his fucking rib when I first saw it.
There's been bits like that in wrestling over the years. I remember one famously in an RVD match. Like, he was... Like, I think he either caught his eyelid on a bit of splintered table that was up, but like, you've got a high chance for people to get impaled over the years. So thank God that hasn't happened. And if it is going to happen, book that impale your opponent match. Do it. Serious hang time on Christian's frog splash. A lot of people do splashes these days. Not all of them look great. They especially don't come close to RVD, Eddie, or even D'Lo with the wonderful lowdown. But amazing height on Christian's frog splash. But by God, did he come crashing down on Kenny's knees. Oh my God. Fuck that. Looked like it really fucking hurt. Great series of reversals from... Oh, okay. Sorry, my shorthand. Great series of reversals from the kill switch to the one-winged angel, back to the kill switch. Not as good as DDP and Christian working their reverse DDTs into the diamond cutter reversal sequences. Not on the WrestleMania 18 match, but on a SmackDown match they had. It was very, 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 very good. And I just love Omega's sell for the kill switch. You know, right down, like vertically. The one he took on the chair as well. When he lost the Impact Championship was like absolutely phenomenal. Oh, I could just watch him. I watch Kenny Omega sell moves like all day long. Kye's
off. He's had enough.
They've sent the dog units this time to collect Kye for all of his law breaking that he's been doing. Go on, Loz.
Just gonna say it just proves once again Omega's still the best, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think.
And then he did when he did a move on the outside. I've got it written down here. Maybe I don't. He did a move on the outside and goes, "Did I do that?" Like Urkel. And
your mic cut out then. I didn't hear that.
Kenny Omega did the move and then he went, "Did I do that?" Which, with like Urkel. And Kenny comes out every Friday night. Like Urkel.
He's brilliant, isn't he? And I've noticed as well, all these big matches he has, he is the one that always goes through the table, as you mentioned earlier. I don't remember the last time he put someone through. He just always seems to go through one per.
It's like the Ric Flair spot when he gets to the top rope and gets yanked off. When he finally does put someone through a table, the crowd are going to go mad for it. Family Matters set in Chicago. That's why he was doing it. That's why he was doing it, Fat Man, because family matters. But the way the crowd... And I mean all of the crowd got to their feet when Omega was positioning Christian for the one-winged angel off the top rope. Or was it second rope? It doesn't matter. Avalanche, one-winged angel. It was just like amazing. They're going up and the crowd are like, oh, all at once. Great visual.
Fair play for to Christian. He took a lot of bumps in this match.
Well,
he actually looked like he bottled it from one V trigger at one point. He flinched.
He wouldn't. If Kenny Omega's knee is coming at my face, you'd go. Aah! It's called instinct. Exactly. It's called human instinct. We do that when someone's trying to knee us in the face. But yeah, Christian.
Sometimes it makes the sell better, doesn't it? But yeah.
Yeah, but Christian coming from injuries, like and him taking that move is ridiculous, isn't it? Like,
he's been so good as well. People that hated on the main eventer, and everyone loves Edge, don't they? But Christian's showing he can do it.
Christian's great, and the fans have loved him for a long, long time. And like I said, everyone in AEW, I'm so happy for them because they deserve it, for want of a better phrase. You want to see them where they can wrestle like they want and get satisfaction from their job. But Raging Silver's brought up a good point there. Like the great Kenny Omega, he slipped off that barrier, but then like the way he handles it like a pro, he's like, and then he does an even more difficult move because he does it from the other side. He adds like another rotation in, and absolutely nails Christian on the floor. Just phenomenal.
He's the best. He's just
Have the police
all time one of the best?
Have the police taken Kye? Have they taken him away? Do you think?
It looks like it. Oh dear.
But
I got one other note.
Go on. Please.
The hilarious way Christian chased Callis out of the ring. I don't know if you remember that. The way it's just so funny. I can't really describe the walk, but it was brilliant.
It's so good. And it wasn't the time to take the belt off Kenny yet, especially after he lost the Impact Championships the other day. And Christian beat him for the Impact Championship. So keep the belt on Kenny for a while longer. especially since the Young Bucks lost their tag belts. So, you know, some of the heels lost their titles, but the main one retained. And then after the match, it was a big surprise because the lights go off and we all think it's Daniel Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryanson, the Dragon of America, the planet's champion. But who comes out but Adam Cole, baby, who literally signed that day with an All Elite baby shirt on, and a former Bullet Club member, current Elite member, as he kicks Jungle Boy in the head. The Young Bucks kiss him on each side of his face, and Kenny reminds us that Adam Cole and him are old friends, and and this is how you do the double surprise because we all knew Bryan was coming, but this is how you do it: a heel in Adam Cole and a face with Daniel Bryan, because it didn't feel like too much. But when go on, sorry. You
knew the swerve was coming though. It was obvious, wasn't it? Like, he came out of what is supposedly the heel tunnel,
of course, I didn't even clock that part.
Yeah, so I noticed that, and then I noticed his gold black and Nike, very same style as the Young Bucks.
Very well observed.
I just knew it was coming, but it was the right thing, obviously, because
and it's just
him feuding with them would have been weird. Obviously, he was going to side with them, and that's going to make for great stuff.
I was a big fan of Adam Cole in Bullet Club, so yeah, it was just great. And again, you know, like just seeing the big grin on Adam Cole's face when he's cutting the promo. Kai, we thought you'd been arrested. We thought the police had taken you away.
Sorry, no.
He's back.
I was just doing it. Sorry. Well, I'm back.
He's a popular guy.
One second.
But you know, you're seeing the grin on Adam Cole's face, and you can feel how happy he is, and you're like, good for you, dude. You've done everything you could in NXT. Like you said, you stayed 2 weeks longer with an extension out of respect for Kyle O'Reilly so you could finish the feud. There was no future for him on Raw or SmackDown. NXT's getting completely changed. It was the only decision. He's with his partner now, and couldn't be more happy for him. Why is
point actually? Yeah, him and Britt, they're both like tweeners, aren't they? Really, because you mentioned that earlier about her.
Yes, well, indeed. Yeah.
Right.
Rich, with regards to The Fiend, first there were reports that he was definitely signing with AEW. Now there's been reports saying he's definitely not signing with AEW. But a lot of people are theorising that he might come in and save the Dark Order because they're having problems at the moment.
Is that Bray Wyatt?
Yeah,
that'd work, wouldn't it? Fiend, is that his property though?
Yeah, The Fiend is... We won't see The Fiend again. That's all WWE.
Yeah. Don't really need to anyway, do we? They ruined it.
They've ruined it. They've ruined it. Yeah, they're ruined.
They ruin everything. They ruin everything.
But then, so we've got the heels, including Adam Cole, beating the shit out of the faces, including Jungle Boy and Christian. And then the Ride of the Valkyries hits. It's Bryan, the American Dragon, the Planet's Champion. The fastest yes kicks I've seen in a long time. And the loudest yes chants I've heard in a long time when Bryan's kicking the shit out of whichever young buck it was. I noticed immediately when Bryan came out, he's not doing this. And I'm wondering, like, is he legally allowed to do that? He later said in the media scrum that he's happy for the fans to do it, but out of respect for the... And Bryan, a class act all the way. Super respectful to his past employers. He doesn't want to put anyone's nose out of joint. So he said he's happy for the fans to do it, but he probably won't be doing any of that. But... I'd like to.
It's time for a new gimmick. It's fine.
No, I understand, but it was amazing here. I think the fans will always do the yes and the no chants at him, and that's cool. And then, like I said, those kicks and how fast he was doing them, and how loudly every chant of yes was with it. Beep, exactly. They should put Otis in the Fiend mask. Well,
what they did to Otis.
You might as well. I was going to say you might as well cover up that face after what they did to it. So
I fucking loved Otis so much. Like,
I like Heavy Machinery. Don't get into. We should have
just a quick
WWE
R.I.P. Otis.
thing.
R.I.P. Otis. That's all it is.
But it was just the perfect heel and face surprise. Like I said, it didn't feel like too much doing both Adam Cole and Bryan because one heel, one face. Just a loud and at the end of the show, a loud, passionate AEW chant to send us off because like when the fans used to chant ECW shows, and when I got into that federation, I was like, how cool is this? Because there's never been a WWE chant or a WCW chant.
No.
And we know what Tony Khan thinks of the fans. He respects the fans, and he wants to give the fans the best possible wrestling product. The fans know that, and we appreciate it. And AEW chants are like music to my ears, as I'm sure they are to his as well. Just phenomenal stuff. I mean, what a show.
Well, he looks ecstatic. Like, if you see any, like, just not even just watching the footage, if you see any photos of Tony Khan in the press scrum, like, afterwards, he looked fucking elated. Like,
Kai, are you rewiring your PC as well?
Yes.
Look, you're a multi-talented man. The amount of jobs you can get done while you're podcasting, I can only concentrate on one thing at a time. But yeah, I mean, like at the media scrum, Brian, I just thought as well, like, how amazing is Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson going to be? Like, an hour-long Omega Bryan Okada style match would just be. I just cannot wait to see those two, because Omega is that elite level in the ring. When I would say CM Punk isn't on the level in ring as Omega and Bryan. I don't think that's a controversial statement. So no. I want to see Punk and Omega work together, of course, because I think Punk's promos, like always, would be amazing. But in ring, Bryan, Daniel Bryanson, Baniel Dryan, and Kenny Omega would be some next level shit that I just can't wait to see. An Iron Man match, Rich, exactly.
Oh god, it's just the amount of amazing matches you can book just with the AEW fucking card, let alone roster, let alone if you do hypothetical ones with Impact, New Japan, AAA. Is Ring of Honor in that as well? I can't remember.
There's still a bit of Ring of Honor beef, but hopefully soon.
Right.
Hopefully soon.
But honestly, it's just like you could do that before the show, but like me and my friends, like that's like after the show, we were like, they've got Hangman Page, they've got Kenny, they've got CM Punk, they got Darby Allin. Just going through the people they've brought in and the people they've built up, and there are so many guys that you could put into the top fucking feuds, and it would be great. And it's just like it's one of those ones where I am so fucking excited to see what's next and to see how everything's like handled. And I really hope Bray Wyatt does come back and lead the Dark Order.
Yeah,
I think there's something poetic about that. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It would be.
Yeah.
He's the only one who could come in and be their new leader.
Yeah,
like no one else, and it would be real emotional. And of course, both Bryan and Punk said that there wasn't one specific reason why they jumped to AEW, but the way that the roster kept the secret that Brody was ill, and the emotional Brody Lee tribute show, which I was a mess watching that.
Oh god, that fucked me up watching that.
And so I think it would be really cool and really quite an emotional storyline for Bray to come in and do some work with the Dark Order. But I could also understand them not doing that. But yeah, like I said,
it'll be fine.
The last I heard is that Bray is most likely going to Impact, but obviously that doesn't mean that he won't do anything.
It feels like a bit of a waste, though, doesn't it? Because what do you do now with Dark Order?
It could fizzle.
Well, the Hangman, but also you still got the Hangman thing. You know, like the Dark Order broke up recently because
Rich, me too.
Yes, you know, because not supporting Hangman. And he got beaten up. So there is still a link there with Hangman, and you know they've turned babyface now as well. So they've got a few possibilities. Like I've loved what they've done with Dark Order.
Yeah, at the media scrum, Bryan says he loves married life, but it is a little bit tame. He needs one aspect of his life that is wild. So Loz, as a married man, what's the one aspect of your life that's still wild?
Put me on the spot there, haven't you? Probably watching wrestling, to be honest.
Yeah,
That's what,
fight the power. I love it. Those Dark Souls runs are pretty wild.
They're pretty intense, man.
So wild, I haven't done one for like 2 months. But yeah.
No, you can only have so much wild in 1 year.
By the way,
Yeah, exactly.
Tony Khan accidentally said Austin instead of someone else's name at the media scrum, so I've taken that to be a Freudian slip. Stone Cold confirmed to be All Elite.
Well, I'm waiting for Ric Flair to show up and then just to do the fucking a new. They'll turn the Pinnacle into the Four Horsemen.
Oh god.
You know the tweets that I was seeing afterwards? It wasn't like fuck WWE. It was I love wrestling. Isn't wrestling great? Like wrestling, like I love positive, and you know I even saw non-wrestling people on Twitter being like, "Oh, I've had to mute wrestling and a few things from my friends because what's going on Twitter," and that's how you know that AEW has made a mark because it's popping up in the zeitgeist, in the general consciousness, which is really cool. And it's what we want and it's what we need. And Vince has driven so many fans. Vince has done so much damage to wrestling as a whole, and now AEW is doing what they can to bring it back, which makes me a happy little camper.
It's so good, like watching it live. Again, like I'd have to think about when I was a kid, like proper Attitude Era, watching pay-per-view events and stuff, and to the point where I got that excited. And like whether we talk about if this this might not be the greatest pay-per-view of all time, even though there's definitely an argument for it being that, but it's definitely the pay-per-view that has the most moments. You know, like the amount of fucking huge moments and reveals, and again, not just the people joining, like the matches. This
moment, this is the moment of the moment of the genesis of McGillicuddy. Poobles, who was backstage? Was Bray backstage at All Out, was he?
Nothing, it was Ric Flair.
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, we'll see some Ric Flair work soon enough, I'm sure. But guys, we've come to the end of the review. Anything else you want to say? Any closing thoughts on AEW wrestling in general, or me, your boy Chris Fox?
It was fun chatting to you guys. Time fucking flew. I didn't realize we've been doing this for almost 2.5 hours. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'll
just say then, where are we ranking this in? I don't know if you want to do ever or last decade. It might be.
Oh,
I can't. Like I said, for me, time needs to be applied before something can be considered an all-time great anything, and it needs to sit with me for a bit. So I couldn't possibly say, but what I will say is, AEW has made wrestling so exciting, and this is like the peak of the excitement that AEW has brought to the wrestling. I think it's going to be an incredibly important pay-per-view that will be looked back on like All In was. And like I said, it's a memorable show. I will remember this pay-per-view forever.
For me, it's done two things. One, I can't remember the last time, and this is me who's been like getting back into wrestling over the last 4 years, going to live shows, shit like that. Can't remember the last time I've been this excited about wrestling. But also, for the first time in ever, I'm actually talking to people that are not wrestling fans about wrestling. Where like I'm like, you need to fucking check this out. Like I'm actually recommending it to people. It's like, did you ever watch it in the 90s? Did you ever? Even people that are just like, there's this thing and it's brilliant and it's now becoming my
and that's what we need, like more casual fans that were driven away 20 years ago. Kenny Omega also said on Wrestling Observer Radio that in terms of the video game and the production, they want it to be that game that non-wrestling fans play, and they've got the director of No Mercy and NWO WCW Revenge, and I played WCW versus NWO Revenge before I was a wrestling nut because the games were just that fun. I played it with my friend who also didn't like wrestling, but he had it and we play it. And if the AEW game can do that for wrestling games, like they're hopefully going to be doing with wrestling in terms of market penetration to the casual fans, it's well, you know, fingers crossed. And I believe that they can do
Yeah.
Raging Silver's asking about a score out of 10. I mean, if it's not a 10, then I don't know what it is.
I would definitely say a 9 out of 10. I don't think I want to start. I don't think I want to start rating pay-per-views.
That's fair. I mean, it depends. Obviously, when you say 10, like Are you then saying perfect? It
For
becomes
me,
a
it
whole
was
debate
perfect
about.
for that show. For me, a 10 doesn't necessarily mean it's perfect. It means I can't think of a way they could have done that show better. There's not one suggestion I could have done, say, to make that show any better than it was.
Take away Big Show QT and get rid of the Casino Battle Royal and have Ruby Soho just debut. That would have been a 10.
I don't know. I like the Battle Royale, and also I like the QT match, and it came at the right place, especially if you're there at the venue. Like, you need that toilet break.
You know what? Poobles has done it. We will rate it in thumbs. 0 thumbs, 1 thumb, or 2 thumbs. So I'm giving it 2 thumbs.
2 thumbs up fresh.
A-E dub. So yeah, 2 thumbs. It's ours. It's ours now. We've got the thumb gimmick. You know where, Pat-Man. You know where. But everybody, that was the inaugural episode of Hook the Leg. And I want to say massive thanks to Kye and Loz for doing it with me.
You're welcome.
And a massive thanks to all you guys for watching and chatting with us, because it's an interactive podcast, which I've never ever done before. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
Having listeners interact a podcast, Kye, hey? I'm not used to it, but I like it.
It was very good. Really enjoyed being a part of it. Thank you for letting me gate crash, because it was literally me just going, I want to talk about AEW.
No, dude, like I said,
talk about it.
Honestly, it's been great having you on. Like I said, I just thought I'll do a small kind of test pilot episode with Loz. But then you said, I want to be on it. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll invite Mick as well. Let's do this. Mick couldn't make it, but I've had a great time with you guys. So, Kye, do you still want me to do that raid thing?
Yeah, I'm starting up right now. I'll put my start.
That's what he was plugging his controller in for.
Yes.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Shameless.
But guys, I'm gonna right now say that I would love to do these every week. I don't know what's the deal with your schedules, guys. But
I could definitely do them at least 3 times a month. I could imagine doing this. Maybe not every week, but I'll be up for it a lot. Like, I'll make my
every week except one is what he's saying, basically.
Yeah.
Excellent. But yeah, like I said, we can have different people on and when people are available. But I'd love to do a regular wrestling podcast. I've been wanting to do one for absolutely ages, to be honest.
I'm down.
The last one I did was with Simon Miller. But you know what? I prefer you guys.
Oh.
Sorry, that was a lie. That was a joke.
Oh, no.
So Miller's famous.
Swerve.
Miller's famous, mate.
Double swerve.
The only signs of wrestling you see these days are video game signs to Pop Matthew and Simon give me an up to Pop Miller, which is fine. But yeah, guys.
One second.
It's the end of the podcast now. I am going to end the podcast now. I'm gonna probably stick this on YouTube as well. But guys, please come back and join us for the next one, and tell any friends who like wrestling to come and join us. Come on over. It's you 3 mentalists with pints. Stay away. No. Come over. Right, Kye, I want to stop now.
All right, so I'm ready now. So any second you'll be able to rate. Thank you so much. For
yeah?
Yeah.
You have to edit this bit out.
No, keep it in. Keep it
No,
in.
I'm not.
Twitch.com, Moon King Kai.
Oh my god. No, that is sacrilege. That is.
Yeah, no. Twitch.com, everybody. Head over to twitch.com/Kye, and you're not coming up in my list of people. Are you live?
I'm live.
This is what I get for letting you on the podcast.
Type in Moon.
Right, are you going to get Saki with me? Are you seriously doing that?
No.
Oh god, don't do that.
It's outrageous. Yeah, I'm typing your name in the search bar, but it's not coming up.
It's there. Damn it, I'm live. I can see my face.
I can't see you live.
What a damp squib of the ending to the podcast. Thank you, Kye. Everyone boo Kye. Everyone boo Kye for ruining it.
Yeah, I
He's
want that
live
heat.
now.
I want
He's
that
live.
heat. I'm live.
Get enough heat anyway.
I'm right at the bottom. I've got 0 viewers. I'm there. I'm in live for a minute.
Yeah, well. Raid channel. I'm sorry that you're not on my list, Kye. You're not on the list. You're not coming in.
/Moon King Kai. Fuck's sake. Raid /raid space Moon King Kai. into the chat.
Heel King Kai. Well, no, let's strip him of his royalty as well. What about Moon Heel Kai?
That's pretty good, actually.
That cunt Kai.
That's actually pretty. I can't use that.
What am I doing? /raid.
Space Moon King Kai. One word.
Nobody go over to this raid. Everybody leave. Turn off their computers. Go home now. But genuinely, Kai, Loz, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. And don't forget to hook the leg.